we here?
Hey now.
Could you hear that? Was that music?
It took a minute. It took a minute for me to hear it. All of a sudden, it started, then it stopped real quick, and then it just ran for, I think, at like 57 seconds. It started again.
I have no clue, man. StreamYard, come on. It's like $30 a month for this. It is May 15th, 2020, 8:08 Bob time, Eastern time, 5:08 Pacific time. Welcome. Let's see, what am I going to say? Could you guys hear the music in the chat? Let us know in the chat if you guys could actually hear that. Welcome. It's Johnny Beane TV, and David Nesdall is here, rubbing his belly.
How you doing? Yeah, I had an itch. How's everyone doing?
Great. Jay Hannon. Oh, good evening.
Welcome.
And Tyler Morris. Tyler.
Hey, everyone.
Good to see you.
Look at that.
Thank you for being here, man.
Oh, man. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. What else? I've been so busy.
Oh,
I can't.
I know, Johnny.
I can't even think.
You had a million things to do.
Yeah, literally.
You want me to do a roll call?
Well, let's do this first. Let's do this real quickly. Thank you, executive producers Charles Green, Robbie Johnston, Music Therapy Labs, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Connor Johnson, 5150, Michael Smith, and some Dave Dude. Channel, what do you call them? Supporters? Thank you so much.
It says executive producer, so.
The executive producers portion of the channel members. So thank you so much, you guys. And yeah, who's in here? We got like a few people watching this.
We got David Nesdall is in here, which is strange. I didn't really, we got Blackjack. What is that? How do you say that again?
Blackjack Guitar Nut.
There we go. Boner Jams, my close friend. Kelly, Hugh Caldwell.
All right, I guess we're done.
We don't have Tyler Morris anymore.
Tyler
Morris is gone.
Oh, there he is. Show's not over yet, Tyler.
Yeah, no, my Wi-Fi kicked me off for a second.
He's like, I'm sick of the roll call already.
Yeah. All right.
We got Steve Carmichael, Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs. Joe Hervey, 84. John BL, 5150, our producer. Robot Master Switch. Let's see. Dwight Bailey, Boner. I already said Boner Jams. I just like saying Boner. Hugh Caldwell, Mr. BHB. Hey, guys, I think that might be Bruce.
That's Bruce.
That is Bruce. Amanda Coombs, Cameron Brown. Cameron, what's going on, man? Big Mo. Who am I missing? Did I say Ben Coombs? I said Amanda Coombs. Now we got Ben Coombs. Matthew Stewart. Man, there's a booty load of people right now. If I do the whole room, we're going to be here till St. Swithin's Day. Jeannie says. Forever,
yeah. Yeah, somebody messaged me yesterday, did a show yesterday with Rob Johnson and Chris Hubbard. And somebody actually messaged me saying, are you going to shout out everybody, like every viewer? Are you going to shout them all out? And I wrote him back and said, yeah, why not?
Well, go ahead.
You should start the show. You should start the show about a half hour early then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good. Bozique is in here. Dwight Bailey. We also have people on Facebook. Let's see. George, is it Salon? He says the picture is blurry. It's not good.
Wipe off your...
Yeah,
get the tissues out of that tissue box right next to the Vaseline and wipe off your screen there. Well, Cobra Kai Platoon said that yesterday's show rocked, so that's cool.
Thank you, Cobra Kai. Yeah, it was a good time. It's always a good time with Rob Johnson and Chris Hubbard. I mean, those guys. Tyler, do you know those guys?
Yeah, I know. I know Chris. I don't think I know Rob Johnson.
They're like, when it comes to Van Halen guitars and the Van Halen setups, those are the guys.
Yeah, someone was commenting yesterday on my Facebook that so these Marshalls back here, they said I should do like a wet dry wet with the mini Marshalls, and I really should do a wet dry wet. I've never tried to do that. I don't even I gotta read up. I used to know how to do it, and I forgot. But should really
you don't have to read up on anything. Just ask Rob Johnson. You can do a wet dry, wet dry, wet dry. Actually,
yeah.
With those just the amps behind you.
Are those all like 20 waters?
Yeah, these are the Lee 12s, except for the Zach Wild back there, and they're the made in England's, and the Plexi ones are the really rare ones. Like those are really hard to find. I both found those at yard sales, local.
Wow.
Then I have the Silver Jubilee, the like white one with the different color basket weave brown. The normal Lee 12, and I can't find. Man, every time I find a red one, the guy asked me to trade him the Plexi one, and I'm like, I'm not. It's really hard to find the Plexi ones. I'm not trading them. But if I could only find the red one, I would have like the whole set, and I would boot the Zach Wild one off to the other wall where I have the modern like made in China ones.
Mm-hmm.
So you found two of those at a local yard or garage sale. How much were they?
Yeah, it's someone's gonna hit me or something. So this is I think that one, the first one that I found was one was Craigslist and one was the yard sale. First one at the yard sale was this one, I believe, and that one was like $250. And then this one on a Craigslist, which is in good condition because you can see the logo is replaced on that one. And I had to actually replace the speakers on a few of these cabs are better condition than the others. And I have an extra cab that's actually hiding on the other wall behind my like Fender custom shop case stuff. But that one I got for $125. So, I mean, they're way inflated. I mean, it's like $1,500 on the last time I saw one of these on Reverb. And it's the same amp as all of them, but it looks like the Plexi. So you got to have it.
Man, that's
You're
gotta be
damn
cool.
right.
That's nice.
Would you drive past somebody's like garage? They're like, "Yo, there's a Marshall sitting out there. We gotta go see it."
And that's tame in comparison to what I've heard. Like I've seen I saw some guy on a telly forum paid $50 for 53 telly neck at an estate sale. And I know a guy locally to me about like 10 years ago. I remember. He worked at Daddy's Chunky Music, which went under and such. But when he worked there, he went by a yard sale, and I think it was like 57 or 56 Strat he found for like a few $100. Like people who don't know guitar, it's just it's an old guitar. Here, take it.
It's either that or an angry ex-wife that got all of her ex-husband's guitars and gear. Get rid of it. I just gotta sell it.
And she's selling them for what he told her they cost.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's how my dad got some of his best guitars, actually.
Wow. Man.
That's so
Well, that's a nice lineup of amps back there, man. That's
Thanks, yeah.
great stuff.
They kind of like they do their thing. When I do like quick live streams, I play them going straight. It's like the ZZ Top thing. I think they even use one of those on Eliminator. But they're solid state amps. But the ones that are made in England, the ones in China honestly aren't bad because they have like the effects and they're good practice amp. But the England made ones are like almost like a kind of like a class 5 quality, but if you made it more of a JCM 800, they can get more gain than the class 5.
Uh-huh. Wow.
So those are your practice amps. What do you use live?
I actually I recently got one of the new I think it's like the 20V, the Studio Series Marshall, and that's the 20 water, and that's what I use for the blues setup. But when I do, like, I have a Van Halen tribute show, and I used I had been using. I have I think I can turn the webcam. I have like some rows of a few EVHs here, and a bunch of them are downstairs and stuff.
Nice rug.
Oh yeah, my Tiger King rug.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Never mind the amps, Tyler. Let's just see the rug.
Well, first of all, what was that blonde Fender? Is that a is that a 60s early 60s Bassman?
All right, that's so this amp actually belonged to Albert King. And this is a really cool amp because we thought some person was bullshitting.
It's a bandmaster. That's nice.
Yeah. My dad's he's a like a physician. And someone had a procedure and they couldn't afford to pay for procedure. And he said, hey, at the time they said, hey, I have this amp. Someone claims it's Albert King's. It's an old, I think it's a bunch of, it's a lie or something. And so my dad's like, well, I kind of like need the money, but like, fine, it's better than not getting paid. So he ended up with this amp. This is a new cabinet, but this head, and it's weird because the Bandmaster has two EL34s, I believe. I gotta look at the schematic in back, and this has 4, like a Showman. So we sent this back to Fender to get recapped about 10 years ago. And we didn't tell him anything about the amp, but we knew it was weird because it's blonde, but it has this oxblood grill, which is like a transition ear with the black knobs.
Right. Yeah. It should have. If it was a 62, it'd have a blonde grill.
Yeah. Exactly. So we asked them, and they looked at it. Like we said, hey, do you have any info on this? And they looked it up, and they wanted to buy it, like do a trade for any USA guitar and amp. Because they wanted to put it in the Fender Museum, because Albert King, which actually he used like solid state amps, I think Randall's or something, maybe Jazz Courses, and he didn't use Fenders, and they were trying to recruit him, and he said, well, I want a Bandmaster, but some more powerful. And it must have been like maybe they weren't making the Showman. I don't know the exact story. All they could confirm was it was like sent to Albert King, and this is 64. So, it's a really good amp. It makes some weird crackling noises that I got to take a look at and stuff. But it's just cool from a historical standpoint.
Mm-hmm. That's something
great.
Is that? Hold on, don't move.
Yeah.
That.
Is that a pop? Is that what you're gonna ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it a popcorn
maker?
Or a gumball machine?
Yeah, popcorn. Yeah, we have like basketball. We have pinball like back behind the. This is like the
table.
Yeah.
It's like a pin. What is
I'm
that?
trying to think of a word. Table tennis.
Table tennis.
So we have this like rolled up, so you can't see, but we do have pinball, ear hockey. That's a real Van Halen cab from the '95 Balance. I think it's from the Balance tour.
This striped one?
Yeah,
that's cool.
And the rest of it's in the basement. But but anyway, so I think you asked like my live rig though. And so what I was gonna say is one of these EVHs, I actually had someone do purple Tolex, dark purple in, and it uses an Eminence EM12 or a pair of them.
Mm-hmm. So you're using a 212 cabinet?
Yeah, so I was doing that, but I was having an issue because the sound guys get real mad because those amps, when they're off, it's like shh. It's
especially the red channel
so much.
The red channel, especially.
And I only use the red and blue channel. So, I mean, the last gig, the sound guy like refused to use the amp. So the amp that I don't really use is the one that was Eddie's. And I used that. I used two like Marshall, empty cab, 2 sets of empty cab boxes. I used this full stack that was Eddie's. That's the rest of the set from that. And then I used this purple amp. And he's like, we're not using the purple amp. So I actually did the whole show with that amp that was Eddie's, because the PV was still hissing, but it was slightly less hiss than the red channel.
Well, the next time the engineer says, "Hey, you're not using that amp because of the noise it's making," be like, "Wait, what noise is that making?" And then he goes, "Shh," and they'll be like, "Exactly, shh," and use the amp.
I mean, I know the reason why those and the Soldanos make so much noise is because they remove the choke coil. And, you know, that's what makes a distortion. But it's like they removed the choke coil and, you know, that's what happens.
You're speaking Spanish to me now. I don't know what the hell you're
No,
talking
I get it.
Yeah, you get it.
Man, that's cool.
Very
But about
cool.
that popcorn maker, man.
Let's get back to the task at hand here.
I actually just got as a gift. I just got a popcorn like stovetop popcorn maker.
Oh yeah, I used one of those in like college in my dorm. I don't think I was allowed to have it.
Yeah,
like a Jiffy Pop thing. You put the thing on the stove and it. Remember those? Never mind.
Yeah, the foil ones.
Yes,
with the handle. Yeah,
thin, like it was like a hanger, like a wire hanger handle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you burn your hand when you have it on there.
Yep. It's blowing up, man. So anyway, for those in the chat and our viewers that might not, know too much about you yet, why don't we start from I guess I don't want to say square one, because I know a lot of guitarists that have done a lot of things. They hate getting back to I listened to so and so and I started, but why not start from somewhere around there?
100%, yeah.
So let's go.
Yeah. So what are you waiting for?
I was waiting for Johnny because
don't worry about him. He's going to make,
my camera's off. My camera. Yeah, I had to make some popcorn real quick.
All right. Yeah. So I guess where do we begin? So I was like about 11, maybe 12 years old when I first kind of picked up the guitar for real. But my dad was always he was a player, and he did the weekly, like at the local Hard Rock Cafe, his band would play there weekly or monthly. I can't remember. It's like 2004. And I was always around that. Being in Boston, my dad's friendly with some of the Aerosmith guys. So like I was always at the concerts, and music was a part of my life. So I started getting into guitar specifically when I was like 4, I want to say. But then after like many years of pretending I was playing guitar, I really got into it when I was about 11. And I got into guys like it was like AC/DC, Clapton, the like classic rock guys, Zeppelin and stuff. And I really, I started going blues jams, and I started doing that whole scene. And one time I was like at a guitar center in Florida, or Sam Ash or something, and I was just kind of jamming. This is when I was like 12, maybe 13. And there was this guy who came up to me who was like, just a nice guy, complimentary and whatever. And he turned out to actually he used to be the musical director for Luther Vandross, but he actually has this like residency, or used to at West Palm Beach, the BB King's club that used to be there. So he said, "Hey, why don't you come in and sit in on the Throw Is Gone?" So instantly when I did that, for a few nights, and that was kind of my first exposure to playing live. And that really got me, on a kick. And I watched.
So that was your first time. That was your first time like on stage playing.
Oh yeah. Aside from blues jams, which were in bars, I don't consider those stages, and really. So that was just a real thrill. And what moved me further was, I really got into Van Halen, of course, which I'm still into. So I started trying to learn all of that stuff among, Jeff Rotal, Clapton, Chuck Berry, BB King, all these guys. And I was really trying to learn that stuff by, a lot of people they'll go on YouTube and they'll or use tabs and stuff. And I kept trying to learn it by ear because I was getting frustrated. I would look at the tabs and they'll all be, slightly wrong, or they, none of yours, Johnny. But they would, but I wasn't looking at Van Halen tabs yet. But like you go Ultimate Guitar, whatever and stuff, and I mean, maybe now I've done some tabs for those guys, so I don't want to say my tabs are incorrect, but the ones I was looking at were kind of like, hey, these positions are wrong and everything. So I was just getting frustrated, and I started going back to the records and listening to that, keep repeating it using slow down apps and stuff, and trying to get the phrasing. And as I kind of progressed, I started to get into more of these guys like Vi and Yngwie and the guys who were like leading the trio after Eddie, as so to say. And I actually released my first two records. I think I was 14 or 15 when I released my first one. It's like 16 when I released my second. And those were they're meant to be primarily instrumental with a few vocal songs, and they kind of captured this like 80s hard rock thing I was going through with the instrumental thing, but it was a little bit on less of the side of less kind of notey thing. I did technical flourishes and whatnot, but the songs were all kind of more melodic based, like you think an Andy Timmons kind of guy. And I was doing those. I was kind of playing the backing tracks. Started doing stuff at NAMM with like Fishman and various companies that I met along the way. And I was just I just ended up doing kind of like a 180 turn where Van Halen was like the constant thing with me. And I was like, what? Like a lot of these guys, like I'm the one and stuff. Like Phil X was texting me the other day about this the song "I'm the One" because he's trying to get the syncopation, the whole jazzy swing, and he's like, dude, I can't get this, and so now we're having like a little competition about it and whatnot. And he told me, he's like, oh man, you suck, you're not doing it. And then I was like, hey, you're not doing it. And I used to, I'm out of practice because I haven't had a tribute show in like 6 months. But, I showed him how I like clap with the metronome and whatnot. And basically what happened was at that time, I was like getting a lot of this technical stuff and I was getting some of the phrasing, but I wanted to get that swing. What was missing with Eddie was the swing. So I ended up going this whole 180 and going back to the blues again, like Freddie King, B.B. King, all these guys, Albert King. And that 180 led me to I just released my second blues album. And I'm kind of in the blues genre now, although I kind of write songs because I write songs, and the label for whatever reason decided to put it out in the blues because blues label picked it up, marketing and whatnot. But I'm like about the song, and this whole 180 thing led me to guys like Gary Moore, who I think really was taken off on Jeff Beck and Eddie. I guess you could say that he came out like 76, and some of the stuff like White Knuckles was, before contemporary to Eddie. But, I think he really started taking off some stuff from Eddie and putting that in the blues. So I kind of play blues or whatever you want to call it, blues, rock, and, whatever, in that style. And that's kind of the journey that led me there. And going back to the blues stuff, like a year and a half ago, I was like, okay, I want to do this Van Halen thing. I have all the equipment, I know the songs. The problem is I keep not playing live shows and then I forget them. So I want to have consistent Van Halen tribute shows. So that way I won't forget the songs. And then this phrasing can, help me as a writer. And because, when you have time off from that, like in this COVID thing, and you're, not playing the songs every day, sometimes you forget, and, you go back to something like I'm the One. and then you instantly get like, oh man, I have 3 song ideas that are like maybe slightly different things, but they're not a rip off of anything, but like in the same, here's a swing type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you get inspired.
Just,
It inspires you to come up with your own stuff. And as far as the Eddie songs, you got to keep on top of that stuff because there's a lot of stuff there. But going back to one of your other records, I remember I don't think we met at this show, but I know we were both there. It was one of the Jason Becker, Not Dead Yet. It was the one with Richie Kotzen was the headliner.
Yep. Yeah.
We were both at the same show. And I remember my friend Matt Blackett, he wrote you up for guitar player.
Oh yeah. That was the story. So when I was like 12 or 13, my dad is I have it like somewhere in this room, but when I was I'm a real big Jason Becker fan as well. When I started getting into those more technical guys, he's probably the best guitar player ever.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Oh yeah. And my dad, really that's actually I think how I, through some of the stuff you've done, I actually discovered you through with Jason when I was looking up some of his stuff. But so my dad bought me when the Carvin first came out. This is when before they were called Kiesel and everything. He bought me that guitar as like a gift. I think it was for a birthday or something. And he actually surprised me, and we flew out to Jason's house, and I got to meet him and everything. And this was about maybe this is like 2013. So I think it was 2 years before this event you're talking about. So I kept in touch with Jason, and I flew out to that event, the Not Dead Yet event. And that was really cool because it was some like, I went to it was literally like I went to the bathroom or something, and Matt Blackett was there. And, we got to talking or something. And, we got talking like an hour later. He's like, send me your disc or whatever. And I sent my disc, and I had like a photo of me and Steve Vai. And he actually wrote up a little multi-page article on me, like a story that happened from that event.
I remember that. Yeah, because I'm longtime friends with Matt, and I remember he was there. And just so you guys know what we're talking about, these friends of mine, they put on these benefits for Jason Becker, and we're trying to see when the next one's going to happen. It'll be at some point, but Tyler was at one of the shows.
Did they do one since 2015?
I think that was the last one.
Yeah, because I mean, whenever next one is, I'm gonna make sure you owe that. But yeah, because I don't think I missed one or anything. But yeah, I mean, I imagine it's probably dangerous, especially with Jason and this environment too, the pandemic and everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. There's no traveling, at all. No. Oh, you were 14. I think your dad is in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's my dad.
Thank.
Oh yeah, that's my dad.
Hey, Dad.
14, I guess.
Hey, Mr. Morse, I'm not seeing it yet. Why is my chat going so slow?
It's on Facebook.
Oh, that's why. I was gonna say I got the molasses chat right now.
Yeah, we both do.
Rolling along.
We both do.
So Tyler, you mentioned about the 11 or 12 year age when you kind of like really started getting into it. It's like it just hit and you got into it seriously. Do you remember like the moment it happened, or what you were listening to or watching, like when you're like, oh my God, I have to play?
Well, I can tell you when I discovered Van Halen, it was that scene of Superbad where they're, they have the cop car and they're like shooting it and they're playing Panama. And I'm like, man, what the hell is this? That's how I discovered Van Halen. But I mean, I would say that moment on stage, was I play music because I like playing live. And later that vision evolved into, well, I like playing live, but I also like writing original music and uplifting spirits, and that's, I guess, my goal as a songwriter. And so that's like two separate visions. That's my studio vision, but I wouldn't have had that whole vision if I didn't have the reason that I want to do live music, which was that moment at the BB King's Club.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool.
Right. But man, yeah, Superbad. That was a good movie, huh?
Oh yeah,
I went and saw that like 4 times in the theater. I couldn't get enough of that movie, man. McLovin. Yeah. Your dad says it was a carving Jason Becker with AAA flame top.
Like a blue one?
Yeah, that one's it's right over here, actually.
Mm-hmm. The blue,
Go grab
bluey.
I gotta take off like my lapel and stuff to grab stuff. But
well, if you think of anything else while you're up, no, let's start stockpiling.
UVH just sent for the tribute. They sent one of the that's just a VH1 like Stripe series. Nothing cool, but I'm waiting on. They're supposed to send me one of the new Frankensteins. The Mexican one or wherever. I don't know. Maybe it's China.
Did you apply? It's Mexico. Did you try the one at NAMM this year?
I did kind of. I tried a little bit, but there was like a guy at NAMM who was trying it, and like he was trying to be like real show offy, but he couldn't play any of the Van Halen riffs correct. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting like
I think
moment, and
I think I know who that is.
I'm gonna There's a handful of them at NAMM. This past NAMM was
the whole booth is like that. The whole booth is like that.
Yeah, this past NAMM was kind of like for me, it was a lot of moments like, are you kidding me kind of thing. Like, I mean, I've been going since I was in high school, and I think it's gone like progressively, worse. Like I've always kind of gone to see the gear and stuff. And it's like now it's like people have their like, oh, I'm showing off my rock star moment. They think Eddie Van Halen's gonna show up, even though he hasn't been in NAMM since like 2012, 2011 maybe, since he had long hair. Yeah. So I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm there for the gear, and a lot of times you just can't even get to the gear. So I picked it up, but I didn't plug it in or anything.
How did it feel?
It felt pretty good. I mean, there's no comparing it to the $25,000 replica, but it's for the tribute shows I'm doing. Like, I'll tell you, I was using the art series, the Charvel one, the Bumblebee, and I didn't even realize those things are now starting to be worth money.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna retire that and I'm gonna use all the Mexican ones. Because I played Korean guitars, Chinese guitars, American guitars. I played them all for years.
Hey, Dad.
Hey.
Turn that up to the camera. And and anyway, so I'm gonna retire like my real Charvel art series ones because I don't want them getting dinged up and stuff during the show.
Yeah.
I'll play the Mexicans, and I don't really care about where the guitars are made, to be honest. If they play good, I played bad guitars from America too, and I played like I have some from when I was with Deane. I have some like Leslie West, Les Paul Jr. things, and those like smoke some custom shops I played. I mean it's really guitar to guitar. No, he wants me to hold up this.
You got the McLovin.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
It's it's down there in the underneath the pinball machine.
There it is. So that's how you get into the shows, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's been,
so funny.
Showing this around on airplanes and stuff, getting in all kinds of TSA troubles.
Oh yeah, they don't joke around anymore, man.
Oh, it's next to like the GJ2 or something.
McLovin. Whatever happened to him?
Oh, I've seen him
doing other stuff.
Probably McDruggan.
Oh, he's
now he's McQuarantining.
Man.
No, you don't know that for sure.
But yeah, actually, for my tribute show, as of now, I'm using a Frankenstein replica I got for $400 that my tech totally made work. And the guys at Floyd Rose, I've been endorsing them for a few years, and Andy's just awesome. So he donated this like 84 the trem, and that thing stays in tune great.
Nice.
So yeah, this is the Jason Becker. When they were called Carvin before the Kiesel. But look at that flame top.
Oh wow, yeah, look at that.
My favorite thing on this guitar was this whole neck. I knew I had to have it.
That neck joint is amazing. I played one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this guitar is great. And to tell you the truth, I think that 24 fret necks actually, I prefer 22 or 21 because I think they, I'm in that whole camp. I think Eddie is too, where it alters the sound. But out of all the 24 frets I played, this one is definitely the, best. There's some that I played that I'm like, okay, like, this is deadening the sound. But that's also, some guitars have really thin necks. Like this one has a good sized neck too, and a flame maple board. And
was that when they used to have those pickups with the double, so it takes up more space, whatever. What did they call those?
Yeah, I forget what the switches do, but the switches do some with that.
They fret up, they split up.
Well, yeah, but there's splits, but there's also something it does with the bass too.
The Carvin pickups always had like the double the
magnets or something.
John Biel, where are you?
Instead of one per string, it's like two or something, so there's no gap.
So so at every bend you hear everything.
But I guess they figured out that that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and they actually, when I was at Jason's house, they were actually talking about I think we're gonna have my dad design one, and we're gonna try to do numbers one, and we're gonna try to do like a headless one, and then one with the Seymour Duncan pickups, and of course they've since done all of that. And I'm a big fan of like the headless. I honestly I've been thinking about getting one of the newer Kiesols since they switched, because they're they make great instruments, and the prices are insane.
When you were at Jason's house, did you play any of his guitars? Like, did you play the actual one of that guitar?
Yeah,
the actual blue one.
I played that one. I played all the guitars I want to play. I played that one. I played like the original Yo-Yo where he's playing Black Star. I played the white version of that with the cacophony, or actually was it his solo album cover. Then I played the purple one that I actually I probably shouldn't have asked to play it because it was behind him. So he's like, "Oh, I'll move." I'm like, "Oh no, you don't have to move." And Jason's just awesome. He's, "Oh no, I'll move," and I want you to play the guitar. And they were all the thing with them is they were all kind of like out of tune and stuff because they're obviously you can't play.
They don't get set up. They really don't get set up regularly. Yeah.
Yeah, I would he should definitely I wonder if the only people I know in like San Fran are like Brian Keogh from Dunlap and stuff. I wonder if someone there, like a tech could come by and tie like because he has a lot of visitors, not now, but
yeah. I've gotten to play a lot of his guitars too over the years,
he had some cool ones. And like I saw his Gem or his Universe, that I gave him, and the one that Van Halen gave him. There's one, the Hard Rock too, I think.
The Hard Rock in San Francisco on one of the piers has a black PV Wolfgang.
I got one of the so I think I was saying too with my setup. So I have this like whatever tribute thing I got on Reverb that we cut Rod in is actually great now. I was using the Charvel Arch series, but I'm retiring that and going to the new EVH stuff. I'm using I got some of the new Kramers from them, and those things are awesome. And I got I was using a Wolfgang Stealth. I have another USA Wolfgang tobacco before this is like 2011, before he even started using the Ebony board. So I get that. And eventually if we had Hagar tunes, which will probably be never, because everyone else is so opposed to it. I want to break out. Like, I have an Access, and I have
Ernie Ball.
Yeah, I have the Ernie Ball Access, and I have a gold top Wolfgang that's beautiful, like Peavey. I have
Nice.
Let's see some of these, man. Come on. Let's see some.
No, he has to take his lapel off to do that.
Well, your dad handed you the other one. Where is he? Hey, Dad.
Oh yeah, he was trying to hand me like some Ingve replica or something. I'm like, that's not on topic.
Yeah.
Or you can't grab a Blackmore thing. I'm like, no.
Wow. You've got some cool guitars though, man.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, that's why I said, I should start. In addition to the music, I was like, and I got all this stuff because I wanted to get the sound, and I still don't have an SDE 3000, but I have an SDD 3000, and I have the Roland, the new DD 500 that's got the you can do stereo panning and cathedral, and I really want to get all these sounds, and I figured. That combined with the fact that I learned to play all these songs, I was like, I should start a band. And the real vision, I really want to do like how Joe Bonamassa has this like Three Kings thing. Like, eventually I want to do like a history of Van Halen, where you go through and you play everything up to like Hagar, and I wouldn't play the Sharon stuff, Sharon is like nearby here, and he's a great guy and I love him. But I don't, so if he's watching, I don't want to piss him off. But I wouldn't say that.
Tyler better not talk about that. No.
I think Sharon knows he was thrown into that mess.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy, and honestly, like, as of now, if he was thrown in there now again, if they don't want to throw in Hagar or something, like, I don't think Roth can do it anymore. I went to the rehearsal facility. It was SIR? It wasn't Third Encore. It's the one across from the Friedman, Dave Friedman shop. And I went to that facility because Thomas Nordegg, who's Vi's tech, we were in California, and he's like, hey, I'm super busy this week, but I'm at Roth's place. Why don't you just stop by here? So I went to the rehearsal facility. Dave wasn't there because he doesn't show up to sound check. But they got it going there. But then I saw some of the footage, and he's out of his mind. I wouldn't want to see him back with Van Halen again. Really, 2015 was getting to the end of his abilities, and I don't know.
Well, I think I'm kind of with you where I think when he got thrown in there, as Johnny said. What did Johnny say it or Tyler said it?
Tyler said it.
Tyler said it. Sorry, Johnny. I think it was at that time where like people still expected like Hagar was gone, Dave was gone. They expected Dave to be back when that whole thing got teased. So people instantly were like, there's a no-win situation.
In New England, Gary's like kind of like one of these like utility singer guys. So like I've done like these big like all-star shows where I get up and do one song, and Gary's like the singer for the whole night. And like the other thing did was Joe Perry just had this new album. So we went to the House of Blues, and they had this whole thing. And Joe Perry's last singer passed away, and he wasn't gonna get Charlie Farron, who's also like a utility guy. For whatever reason, he's like, oh, I'm not used. I would have him on one song, not the full set. And he got Gary Sharon. And I think he had him on the album too. So Gary's like this guy who like you go to shows and you don't expect him to be there. Like in Boston, he's like the guy who can do, a pretty good job at like almost anything. Yeah. So, he's like skilled.
That's why people loved the Van Halen 3 tour, because he could sing both eras of Van Halen. and they played songs. You know, I didn't get to see that tour because I was on tour myself at the time, but they were playing songs that they hadn't played in years.
Yeah.
What's what you know? I mean, there've been. I feel like, you know, I don't know if I'm allowed to say any of this or not, but like
you can say anything you want.
You can say whatever you want.
I mean, I don't think any people who like.
There's nobody watching this.
But
he's lying. There is.
Like I went to like, you know, like Ned Steinberger's house once. This is like the first. I remember I dragged my dad to like Bangor, Maine, even though we you know, we had tickets to the show the next night because we had to see Van Halen like 6 times. Because
wow.
every tour, like 2012 and 2015, you know, I think we saw him 5 times because Eddie like canceled half of 2012 tour. So we had tickets for 6 times. We saw him 5. But you know, I had to like study everything. So in 2015, when we went to Bangor, Maine, part of it was I went to Ned Steinberger's shop in his house and factory and got a chat with him. And he said he was at the show, and this was the morning after the Van Halen show. And he said, you know, it's interesting. I said to him, like, you know, it's too bad. Like, I wish Eddie would like bring that out, but I guess they're not doing anything. I loved his Steinberger guitar. And he said something. He's like, well, he had it with him last night, and he showed it to me because he needs to get some work because, you know, they're going to start doing some stuff with it. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, is Hagar coming back? This is like 2015, I think. And he's like, I don't know, but, you know, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he said he's going to play some old songs or something. So, you know, I think at some point there was a plan to. And this was like while they're on tour in 2015. So, I mean, I think there was a plan to bring Hagar back. You know, I like met Sammy once and like jammed with him, and he's a really good guy. A lot of people like hate that era, but I mean, the fact is the guy's like 71. He's like one of these Steven Tyler guys where he can sing, he can still sing. And, you know, Roth, I mean, Roth was always a showman. He still is, but you know, at this point, it's gone to the point where like he's wearing an Elvis wig, and you know, it's just like I feel like Sammy would hate. I would rather have Michael Anthony out there, like what they tried to do in 2004, where Michael sang all the you know VH1 song, or the you know the first incarnation. I mean, and I would rather have that, but you know, where Eddie's not all messed up. Because, you know, at least, you know, you have Sammy who can kind of hold his own. Michael can do a pretty good job with the Roth stuff. But, you know, to me, to have Roth at this point is just like extra weight. He's not doing the same thing he was doing in 2007. And like I saw him in 2012 and Roth was not bad. He was actually like pretty good. But last time it was like, all I remember from last time about his performance was I posted something about Roth playing harmonica on like Ice Cream Man. I posted on a like harmonica and slide. I posted on a blues slide page, and I got banned from the page. People were so mad at me for that. They thought I was like ear deaf or something.
They gave you the ban Halen.
And I'm like, guys, he's like playing some open string slide. You know, what is this?
Well, when you mentioned the Steinberger in 2015 or whatever year it was, that's when Jeff Babbitt's was like fixing it up. So there was, and he released a photo of it on his bench, all taken apart and stuff. And that's when there was speculation, like, "Whoa, what's happening here?" You know, I know exactly.
Was that in 15? Was that?
I don't remember exactly what year it was.
I think it was earlier,
like 12. Well, I thought Jeff's picture was earlier, but I know that the Bangor thing was in 2015. So because I do remember that I was like, there was some speculation leading up to that when I went to Ned's house. But I think how it was is there was speculation. Then they announced the whole live album and went on tour. So it was like, oh, that's dead in the water because Roth is there. And
2016.
Wow,
2016. Oh,
It was posted on VHND January 4th, 2016. So it would have been 2015.
yeah. I mean, I would, people. I don't want to say like I would love Hagar to be back, but now like everyone's gonna block me on Facebook because I said that.
No, dude.
Not at all. Not at all. The only. I mean, Hagar still has a great voice. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The thing that upsets me a little bit about Hagar is that he cheats because the band tunes down a whole step for him to sing that way.
Cheats.
That's kind of like cheating.
He's 75 years old. What? How is that cheating?
How's that cheating?
That's not cheating.
I think because I was learning Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do like last night, because Eddie does this cool like flanger thing where he's not.
Yeah, no, right now he's there with the circle. They tune down a whole step. Yeah, they tune down a whole step. Like you listen to Pound Cake and you see that they're playing the 7th position, for an E chord, but it's really D.
You know what I could never figure out is like, and you got close up of this on like Ellen when they do Jump live, they. I don't know if they're trying to like piss off Dave or something, but Eddie plays it in D, but they're tuned to E flat, so he's playing it. Yeah, he's playing it in D flat, and the original song was in C. So Roth is already having trouble singing the original key, and they're moving it a key up higher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's too. Like a lot of people said, like, why 1984 is like tuned up is because they were trying to get Dave out of the band. They were trying to just like piss him off or something.
Well, they did a good job.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, I would love to have like original Dave back, but he's just, I just don't want to see what he did in Vegas, where he just starts yelling in between Unchained. Like I don't want to hear him yelling over the other guys. I would rather just see them as a trio with no vocals or something at that point.
Well, Tyler, did you happen to see a whole show from the Vegas show, or did you just see the first couple clips that people put up there?
Well, I saw the first couple clips. I did see some of the stuff with Kiss, and we're supposed to see them in September with Kiss, if that still happens.
Well, you should go back and on YouTube and check out the first night of the Vegas show, and then like on the 10th of the Vegas show, because Roth actually sang very well on both those shows.
Let's not say very well, but it was a lot better.
Roth,
it was a lot better.
For Roth, he actually sang the songs the way they appeared on the records, kind of.
Which was a big complaint. That's always been a big complaint for Roth, is that he never. I mean, he was able to get away with it when it was in their heyday, because he was just such a great showman.
And everyone in the audience was doing as much drugs as they were.
Yeah, so he was able to get away with it. But now it's like people want to hear him sing those parts.
Yeah, I did see some Kiss clips, and they were pretty good. The other thing too that shocked me too is like in the blues world. So one of my friends is this guy Kingfish.
I love him.
Chris Stone.
Love him. He's amazing.
Oh yeah, and he we did during NAMM, we just did 2 shows for his birthday at the Lodge Room that I guested on in LA. Back to back, there were like 700 people. A night, and like Jeff Garland hosted this thing, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I heard that he was there. I heard that he was at the Gibson booth. Yeah.
Well, this was at the Lodge Room after, but Jeff Jeff's actually been really cool. I guess I'm shipping out Jeff's pedal tomorrow.
Nice.
For him, I made like from Curb Your Enthusiasm. But anyway, so with Kingfish, was really cool is I'm actually, I'm now I'm close with him, and his also is like manager, kind of the assistant guy, who's actually helping me out a great deal. Great guy, as well. And I stumbled upon a clip from Vegas, and Roth was covering a Kingfish song. So I text them I'm like, guys, check this out. So then they wanted me to connect. They're like, hey, do you have any connection to Roth? Like we didn't even, does he even who did this song, or is he just like doing it because he listened to Spotify? So I ended up connecting him and Thomas, and when this is all over, I think they're going to talk to Roth or something, or at least exchange emails like, "Hey, thanks for covering my song," And that's what I thought was cool about Roth, is that he would, cover a current artist's song, especially in blues where it's like I could see him doing maybe like a Katy Perry or, something that's pop, but the fact that he listens and digs into like blues is just like modern blues indie artists is just, really cool of him. So,
and he just did that EDM version of Jump. Do you remember seeing that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's current.
With Van Buren.
With Van Buren.
Terrible.
Yeah. And then Boner Jams. Thank you, Boner Jams. Says Tyler, it's almost time to bring out 1 or 14 of your guitars previously referenced. What are you currently playing, and discuss your tunings? So
Look at that fucking picture of him.
Boner Jams, what's up with your hair, man?
Is that really him?
Yeah. That is him.
No, it's not.
Oh my God, man.
So what guitars are you currently playing, Tyler? And what are your tunings?
These ones I can so I mean I mostly use standard, but these are pretty interesting. I just released my album April 17th. It's my 4th, but my 2nd blues, Living in the Shadows. And on the cover of that is an interesting Gibson that I'll talk up front, and then I'll grab. These are like right here, so I'll grab them, but I have to take off the lapel to do so.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
But before I bring these out, so the story behind these guitars are ES235, I believe, is what they end up calling them. But so I've been kind of like with Gibson since 2017. And one year at Summer NAMM, I was playing at one of these parties. I was just like, they have these like little jams. There's a lot of artists there and stuff. So I was jamming, and this one guy, Mike Voltz, who's the head of the Memphis division that they recently closed that, but he's still, the head of the ES line or whatever. He said, you're doing all the right stuff on this. You're playing, I was playing like shred stuff.
Hey, who's strolling around with a Frankenstein?
He said I was playing all this like shred stuff, and I was playing jazz, and I was playing Stormy Monday, and he said, we have this new guitar. He took it out, and he said, would you play this guitar like, on your he had seen like my previous blues album. He said, would you play this on your next album? Would you do a clinic with it? So I tried it out, and I said, I had like a 59 Gibson ES guitar I bought from Norm, like 3/4 size, that I love, and it just won't stay in tune because it's rusted and old and stuff. So I asked, so I said to the guy, I said, this is actually kind of perfect. And I said, it had P90s. I said, if you can make one with burst buckers and like a burst, that would be awesome. And then one showed up. I thought they were pulling my leg, but they had, if you look up Tyler Morris Premier Guitar or ES235 or something, I did the product premiere for them like the next day at Summer NAMM 2018. And then they sent me this guitar on my doorstep. And then last May, they sent me another guitar that's a custom Blueburst. And the one that's on the cover of my record is, they ended up making this model called the 235, but the one that I have, it's custom because it has like sunburst on the back also, and a flame back of the maple neck. Yeah, it has a flame back to the maple. Oh, that's the wrong one, but that one too. I'll show you this one first, and my dad's gonna grab like the one on the. So then they sent this other one that's this custom. I wanted like a Blueburst thing, and these were like both like prototypes of this. So you can't really see in this lighting, but it's this beautiful blue color, and it's kind of like a Les Paul special.
Is it called the Les Paul ES?
No, they actually they replaced that with this. They got rid of that in 2014, 15, and they released this in like 2019, and then actually they discontinued it recently. But mine are like different colored than the production models, so they're a bit, they're a bit unique, and they have slightly different features because they're still trying to figure this out.
That has a bound neck.
Yeah, this has a bound neck, and like Les Paul special attributes such as the inlay, whereas the one that's on the cover of the record, which the first one I got, is more of a I think like kind of like junior attributes. It has silk screen. It has the production models don't come with a sunburst back, or this neck is like highly flamed, and it's kind of hard to show in the light, but it has all this like flame on it. And so I'm playing those two guitars, and the other guitar you might have seen there, which I actually have here too, is my friend Johnny A, who's a big mentor for me. He's had Gibson, like the second most successful custom shop guitar in the line other than the Les Paul, since 2003. So I got this really cool cool guitar in July, which is a Johnny A guitar, but they only made like 4 of them ever, including the ones that Johnny has in under the pool table on my looper side. I'm sorry, I'm directing my dad. It's
Come on, Dad.
yeah, so it's they only made like 4 in gold. They come in yeah, they come in Sunset Glow. Yeah, show the alligator. So the alligator case, they stopped doing that. Like Gibson.
Oh wow.
Johnny's like real specific to what he wants, and he really wanted this alligator case in all his models. And they did it, and they did a beautiful job, but they don't do them anymore. They're too expensive to do the case. But that's this is a beautiful guitar, one of my favorites.
Hand me the other one.
Wow.
Yeah, and
green lining in the case.
Yeah, green lining in the case. And this has they come in Sunset Glow, but you get it. Wait till you see the back of this thing. But so this is gold with a Bigsby. This is ebony board.
I like that, man.
Fruit de Lou, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but the French inlay thing. And the back has a stinger. And the back is like, I don't know what kind of wood this is, but yeah,
it looks like koa. It looks like flame koa to me.
Yeah, the thing with like I mean, aside from those prototypes, all these guitars, like I'm like most of the people in the guitar community, I want a deal, so I search on eBay at 2 a.m. and like this thing, I got for ridiculously a fraction of what the ones in the regular like Sunbursts, it's called Sunset Glow, are selling for. So it's not like I spent a fortune on any of these things too. Like I just search for the deals, and I spent like 5 years trying to find a Johnny A, and it didn't happen until June. And he was also like, "Hey, when are you getting my guitar? When are you getting my guitar?" Yeah, and you bought it that night. Yeah, and I actually, and I searched that night that he said it, because I hadn't searched in a while, and it was like, a 2 a.m. find, and offered the guy less than he had it up for, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll sell this." He hadn't even like checked out the other sales, I guess. I don't know, but I'm glad that I got this one in gold, because that's a really cool color. Yeah, so he has to approve the custom colors. I asked him to approve like one in a purple burst, and he was like, he just like sent me back like a laughing emoji. He's like, no.
Yeah, that gold one, that's really nice, man. I really like that. Man,
yeah,
you got some nice guitars.
Thanks. Yeah, anything else you guys want to see? My dad brought back, this is the one weighs a ton. I got accurate weight. I got in Reverb years ago. This is just my Frankie replica. It's got the quarter. Andy at Floyd helped me out with this 84 bridge, so it plays great now. It's got this guy's stuck in Art Series. I don't know how he made this fake plate, but he's stuck in Art Series 23. You know, I doubt that's like someone would actually take that off a real thing. So I'm gonna say it's fake. And yeah, you know, this one's kind of like most of the workhorse for the show, but it's just so heavy. I can't really use it for the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
looks great though, man.
Oh, and I got Brian Keogh at Dunlap. So I've been doing like some cool picks with him. I got like 6 or 7 ones that I came up with. And so this side's my signature. He did 2 of them for the Van Halen tribute thing. And then we got my logo, which is just TM.
Yeah.
And I got another one that's white with my signature, but it has the you know, it has this same logo, but the logo's in, you know, Eddie stripes. So. Oh yeah.
That's cool.
You're getting a cease and desist letter from Eddie.
Yeah, we'll get
Boner jams.
You know, like a little. My dad's gonna grab. We have like drum heads and you know some shirts, so you guys can see like kind of like how much we did geeking out with designing this show. But and the other thing too is I have like a lot of people don't do the projections and stuff in the back. I started doing projections where I have like it goes. It video loop. It goes from this like TM version of the VH logo, and it stripes and it changes, and then it's like the Game of Thrones logo, and it's like lightning, and so people who like don't who are at the show who like just want to dance and don't care about how we play the songs can get distracted by that and whatnot. Because you gotta remember there's people at the show who just want to hear the songs and don't care about how you play them and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And those are the ones they really, really appreciate.
Those are ones who buy the merch. So
yeah. And Boner Jam says, Tyler, your dad is the man. He clearly loves and supports you. Love that he has come up to help you show some guitars. Again, nice haircut, Boner Jam.
Yeah, Tyler, you gotta get the haircut for your next show, man. Tyler's analyzed me like, is that even possible?
Yeah, no, it's hard to take Boner Jam seriously with that photo. Like,
well, with the last name like Jams, yeah, you really can't.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, you know, I don't know if you guys want to see anything, you know, else. I have damn, where's I think my pedal board for the show's downstairs, but you know, it's basically every MXR pedal. Oh, that's like drum. We just got drum heads made. Decals to put in
there's the poster. Look at that.
Yeah, we're gonna put these on
cool.
the drum heads. Vinyl.
Very cool.
That is cool.
And we offer like shirts and.
Look at that.
Double XL.
Nice.
Send us your info.
Yeah.
We're working on a thong too.
Ooh. Double XL on that as well.
I'll wear it on the show.
Oh yeah, if there's a tribute show to have a like thong as merch, you know, it would definitely be a Van Halen show.
Yeah.
Van Halen did have a thong as merch back in '91, and it said "spanked" on the front of it.
Oh,
that's the truth.
Well, I still want to get one of those, the original fan club, the gold chains. You can't get those.
I used to have one of those.
Yeah. You see people in those Van Halen groups on Facebook that have them.
Man, it's hard to get one of those.
I had one made. I had one of those original ones, and then I had a jeweler make one out of 14 karat gold, and I think I still have it somewhere.
This guy in the right who's commenting, my friend Stephen Paul. He's interesting fact. He's actually Les Paul's grandson.
Oh, cool!
Very cool.
Whoa!
You want to look at the joke?
And he wants me to give my dad a raise.
Custom shop, the one with the...
It's like in the closet. Yeah.
There's one over here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know. We have I have tons of guitar geeking stuff if you guys
Dude, it's up to you. If you want to show stuff, if you want to, talk more about,
Yeah, make some popcorn.
it's
Fire
your
away.
time, man.
I haven't fired up the popcorn maker in a while.
Yeah, I want to hear that thing going off in the
And
background.
TK's gold SG's over there. If you, I know you didn't see it. It's back there. There's the Brian Ray SG, and it's in front of the Brian Ray. The that's the Joe Perry Mark One, I think.
Hey, Ben Coombs wants the double X thong as well. Ben, who is that for? You gonna?
For Amanda?
Oh, come on, man. Jesus.
Oh yeah, that's the
How many back?
Dark Burst. There's
Oh my
two
God.
black cases. It's the third one back.
Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah, this is the original Joe Perry, the Les Paul Studio. Up until like 2 years ago, you could get these for like $700 or something. That I saw, then they for some reason went up. But I only wanted this guitar because it has a built-in wah, and I got this from my friend Mark Agnesi before he went to Gibson, ironically, and when he was at Norm's, and this came in, and he knew I was looking for one. So
Yeah.
A built-in
Norm.
wah. Can you explain that?
Wow.
yeah, built-in wah. So it's you undo this and it makes wah sounds, but it's not practical because it's kind of a cocked wah, maybe like Schenker. And Joe Perry, it loves making bad guitar sounds when he's playing live. So he throws this thing on, he throws on that freaking plasma pedal and some crap, and it covers his guitar playing, which
So
yeah.
bad is in bad.
He plays guitar
Like
really
that.
well, and then he covers it in a bunch of crappy tones,
Oh,
so.
Like Joe Perry at a carnival.
Well, it's like the thing is these guys get bored, so they like to they like to test out all this equipment. So there's many times like Aerosmith sound checks where I've been there, and I'm waiting to do some, and we know Brad the best, so waiting to talk to Brad or something. And it'll be like, oh no, Joe tried out. He got 2 Klons and 3 different delay pedals and a distortion, and he's testing them or
And
something.
he's turning them on all. He's turning them all on at the same time.
Yeah, he really loves his pedals. And the thing is it's when did Aerosmith ever use a Pog on a record? But he uses it in Dream On sometimes. He just kind of does it, and it keeps you. When those guys have played the same songs for so many years, it keeps you entertained, I guess.
yeah.
After a while, you're playing it every single show ever since it came out, and it's you got to do something maybe to liven it up. I could understand that.
Yeah, that's the problem with having hit songs, man. There really is a downside to that.
Yeah.
This is Trans Gold,
Look at that.
or TV Gold. It's actually my friend's guitar, PK's.
Sonotone strings.
Yeah, and so there's this great string company I use, Sonotone Strings, and they make these strings the fusions that I use for the Van Halen show. And Joe Perry, Jeff Beck, there's a few other guys like my friend Jordan Ziff from Rad. I set him up with them as well. They're all using these Sonotone strings. And he came out with Gibson. He has this limited edition through the custom shop. From the custom shop. This is my dad. This is my uncle. He's new to Facebook, so he doesn't have a profile. I don't know. He likes the guitar. So anyway, so with the Sonotone, they came out
Uncle.
with, this is called a Sonotone Gold SG. And
Sonotone Go.
yeah, it's there's I don't know, 10 of them exist or something. It's a made to order guitar, and PK is a great friend, and he was this before the COVID. He said, you have a bunch of shows coming up. Maybe you want to try out this SG, play it at a bunch of shows. and we'll get some photos and put it up on the website. So that's why I have it. And then COVID happened, so I haven't been able to like go over to his house again.
The
So
color is just beautiful. Can we get a light on
yeah,
that?
this color is pretty.
Can
Put the spotlight.
or
Yeah, this color is
just-
like really
it's just-
stunning. It's hard to
it's
see.
Stunning. It's a trans gold.
Uh-huh.
It's like the new Brian Ray Jr. that's coming out is like a trans gray. This is like the trans gold of it. It's just the color is
Brian
just
Ray
spectacular.
does some really cool.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys know, but like there's a silver fox finish.
Yeah. I know his guitars.
Yeah, and it's like all these vintage Epiphone finishes where they put like black and white over it, or vice versa. He did. We have one of those, the silver fox, and we've been waiting forever on the white fox because that's on a back order. But he did the inverse. He did like silver fox and white fox. But I forget the finish name on the white. But I think it's like black below the white or gold. But like you can do these things where like Johnny A has like this really cool. It's a black, like TV black or something junior, and they did gold first and then they blacked over it. So like the grain is gold or something. It's like. Some weird color combo, and it's really cool because I never noticed like half of these colors that existed. I just thought they were, this is like white, TV yellow, and there's all these like custom shop added all these new things. So
That's awesome.
but yeah,
That's an awesome guitar.
Anything else?
yeah, but yeah, I don't know if any other guitar,
Well, somebody wanted to see the Ernie ball.
I was playing that last night when I was diving in the Hagar. That's next to the Deane double neck. Back there. The
Deane
Ernie
double
ball,
neck, huh?
yeah, I have it's called a Grand Sport. It's Jimmy Page, basically double neck.
Cool.
Nice. Thank you, Marco, for subscribing.
You got somebody selling T-shirts in the chat. Don't worry, it's just bonus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I broke the knob off last night though. It fell off.
So it happens late at night when
I was jamming too hard
by yourself, man.
So I used to have an Access hot rod. I really want an EVH one, even though I know it's the same exact thing with the. Sterling told me, he's like, I just moved the knob down, the switch down here, which it's true. But I want the EVH one just because of the signature. And it's like, I just don't want to pay that much money that they're asking. And the other thing is the finishes are all fading on them too. So it's like, I want one, but I don't know if I'll ever get one.
Where's the volume knob on that?
Yeah. So last night,
broke off.
I was playing. Yeah. And this fell off, so I got to put a Strat knob on it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because
the actual knob broke.
Yeah,
the actual knob or the pot.
No, the pot's fine. The knob broke, but I got like a whole. I make pedals and stuff, and I'm an engineer, so I have like a whole repair shop if the knob did fall off.
Nice.
You just give me a great idea, guys that just want an on and off on their guitar, no volume knob, just a switch, man. Just it's on or it's off.
They did. Well, actually, I used to like playing the Les Pauls I used to play had that. I call it the Neil Young switch because Joe Perry played with Neil Young one time and he really wanted that in his guitar and drilled into his boneyard and stuff. And it's a push pull and it wires it directly to the output jack. And I honestly use that setting like many times.
John Surrey has that. It's called a blower switch. It's a little switch that's next to the volume. You hit it, and it goes right to the jack.
Yeah, and
full humbucker. Yep.
The other one that Deane made, like a model, the Carl Sanders or something, that was like scalloped and 24 frets, a big honking V thing, and it was like no volume. It was just an output jack. I mean, I think
can't be good. That just can't be good.
Yeah, no, I think that was pretty stupid. I mean, how are you gonna mute stuff?
Oh, that's pretty funny though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man, that's pretty good. Where'd Johnny's gone?
78.
What the hell is my brother talking about?
Oh, I don't
Little
know.
Feet did a cover of Yoko's hit song.
I think him and Steve are talking about the Beatles in the chat group. I don't know why.
So do you still have, Tyler, do you still have like the first guitar you ever owned?
Of course.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Well, the first
The
guitar.
Flaming Skull.
Oh, like the first real one. Well, I owned the SG before that, technically.
Which is
That we just put the Bigsby in that I'm using now.
before the Les Paul.
Yeah, remember you had it and you gave it to me?
Where's that?
Well, the SG is in the case in my room, and the Flaming Skull Les Paul's in the other one.
What's up to you? I mean, you don't have to get crazy. I'm just curious if you still do have your first guitar or whatever.
It's in the room in the Ingve case. It's fine though.
I just love the fact that you have as many guitars as I do, and I'm 50. You're half my age.
Well, a lot of these are my dad's, but who's the same age as you, so
Yeah,
They're as good as yours, though. You know, I wish my
Yeah.
dad played guitar.
they'll be
so I would've
yours.
inherited a
They'll be
shitload.
yours at some point.
but
Let's show them this. This is kind of cool.
but
This is the first. Remember when
but with the first guitar that like I owned, so I think I mean there was like, you know, numerous kind of crappy non-functional mini Squires and things like that I never really could play with, and before I actually played. But the first one I started playing with was this like Les Paul Studio, that just this white Les Paul Studio that was great, and I also had a SG Special that for many years actually it had some with the board, like it kept getting too dry. So I never played this thing for years up until like a month ago, where I had the guy that does a lot of the tech work. I just had him keep it for a month, and we put a Bigsby on it because I liked on the Brian Ray. He had the Vibermate, so I got one of those. And you know, I at Gibson I need to do a whole ton of work, so I redid the whole like kind of clusins and some, you know, tapping into the frets. And so those two guitars, I still have them, and I play them both live actually too. They're part of the arsenal.
Well, we got Bozique in the chat says, I like this kid. He's cool. Gonna check out his music now. So might as well take a moment to, you know, if you want to just plug your you know, where to listen to or buy your music right now while we're on the topic.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna put this in private chat too. So my website's www.tylerdmorris.com. And my Facebook is at Tyler Morris Official, and my Instagram's at Tyler Morris Official. And on both of those platforms, or if you just go to my website, they have like a link all where there's, you know, multiple ways to get to my music and my store, or Spotify, which is also linked on my main site as well. And so my new record, Living in the Shadows, that just came out, which actually, yep, that one. So that one actually, it debuted at number 3 on Billboard's Blues charts, number 3 on iTunes, and someone said it's like number 11 on some European chart on my live stream yesterday. I don't know what chart that is, but
Congratulations, Tyler. That's amazing.
Yeah, so if you go to tylerdmorris.com, I have a store. And, you know, the thing is during COVID, because of the whole situation we're in, so you can buy them from Amazon and in all your platforms, listen on Spotify. But what I did is I'm selling on my site for $20, which I believe is cheaper, $20 with shipping and everything. It's cheaper than Amazon or any of those sites. And if you buy it from me, I'll personally sign it. Message anything you request me to sign. And the reason I'm doing that is because I miss, you go to these shows, and I prefer to sell someone a physical copy of the CD and talk to them and have a conversation. And, I wanted to do this kind of like special pricing, but you also get some personal, because I want to find a way to connect with those fans and, let them know that, hey, you can buy the CD now, but when I come to your town, I'm a real person. I'm not like Amazon or something. And, you remember I'm the person who signed, this thing to you, and that you come to the venue and you have a real conversation with me. And, that's why I do. Oh, it looks like my Spotify link is not loading for some reason.
That's just on Johnny's side. It's got to be.
Yeah, I'm uploading a lot of stuff right now in the other room.
But yeah. So, anyways, that's a special thing I'm doing. We sell CDs. We sell, my other CDs. We sell. I think I have some leftover shirts from my next in line tour.
Dude,
Van Halen merch.
You did was that coming up, or was that? Wait a minute. You did a tour with Joe Louis Walker?
Oh, Joe?
I know Joe from way back. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. For San Fran too.
Yeah. Well, that's how I know him. He used to come into the. I used to work at this place called Subway Guitars in Berkeley, and Joe Louis Walker would come in all the time.
He lived in Mike Bloomfield's house.
Oh, no way.
In San Francisco.
He's on both your albums.
Yeah, so he's on my last album he was on. I did a cover of Willie the Wimp, Steve Ray Vaughan, and originally Jimmy Vaughan, Bill Carter did, but you guys know from Stevie. And I did another cover in Joe saying that, and I did another cover of Pokes Out Annie, because me and Joe were at the Blues Music Awards together a year or two ago, and we both saw Tony Joe White, who passed away. And I wanted to do that song. So I figured, Joe was there at the Blues Music Awards, so I would kind of have him involved in this tribute. And, every time Joe comes locally, which he lives in New York, I play with him, and, I'm real close with him, and he's one of my main mentor guys.
Nice. Well, hey, next time you talk to him, tell him.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, he wouldn't remember me, because this was like 25 years ago when I was around him. But ask him about Fat Dog. Ask him about Subway Guitars, and he'll tell you some stories.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the place. I don't know if you watched the episode we did where Alex Skolnick was on here.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one? Yeah, Alex and I used to work at the store that Joe Louis Walker used to come into.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he talks about in San Fran, the scene there, I mean, was so welcoming. Like Mike Bloomfield, he didn't have a place to stay, and he was basically living on Mike Bloomfield's couch from Paul Butterfield band. And he Joe talks about like how everything was just like so welcoming in the blues scene, back in this is gonna be like the 60s. He was talking about how he would go to clubs, and back then licenses like didn't even have your picture, so this must have been the 60s.
66, 67, around there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he said he would use his brother's ID or something.
He's from San Francisco.
Yeah, he might have lived out here when I was around him. Because I saw him all the time.
Yeah, and we on this record too, I forgot to mention I have my friend Amanda Fish, and I have blues legend Ronnie Earl too. Is on the
Ronnie Earl.
Yeah, and he's a local guy to me, so he's one of these guys where that's actually a cool story about why I chose him to put it on this song. So I have this song "Young Man's Blues," and it's kind of like a Muddy Waters, Mannish Boy kind of thing, and I just did through Vintage Guitar released a music video, and it's about how I listen to this kind of music, but a lot of the people in my school, when I went to high school, and college, don't really listen to this kind of music. Not just the blues, but it's a blues record, so it's like Young Man's Blues. So I did this song, and Ronnie's one of these guys who, as a kid, really been mentoring me, one of these guys like Joe, and he had said, hey, you know, can I be on your record? Can I help you out in any way? Just let me know. So I, you know, called him back one day, and we've been talking, whatever, but I said, hey, I'm going to take you up on that. And because I got a song, and you kind of pass the torch to me on stage every night when you let me come in and play with you. So, you know, what if I have you on this song, and we're kind of, you know, going back and forth, and this song is about, yes, I'm from, yes, I listen to all this music that may be less modern, but, you know, I'm trying to move it forward like a Gary Moore, like a Bonamassa. I'm trying to go forward. And I think having Ronnie on this to show, you know, he's the, you know, more established, the legendary side, and he is giving like me the okay. And that to move it along, and that's why I had him on that track. So
that's very cool, man.
That's great. That's awesome.
We also have Louis Stevens, who was Freddie King's piano player.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Louis Stevens.
Oh, what my dad said, or in the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have Freddie King's piano player on there as well, Louis Stevens.
Wow.
This was produced by Mike Zito, who did all Samantha Fitch's records, or most of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. What else they want to say?
I'm just reading the Brendan Buttcheeks. Brendan B Squared says, Tyler, I build cigar box guitars, and I'm also an electrical engineer. I'm going to have to check out some of your pedals. I was going to actually, that was going to be my next question to you, is about how you got into building pedals and stuff. But he says, I'm a fuzz guy. What do you recommend from your pedal line?
So actually the fuzz pedal I have is like not technically released, but you know, I'm a one-man operation, so I will build stuff. So what I have in my pedal line now is I have they're all treble booster variants. And I have the turbo booster that has 3 modes: Clapton, Santana, and Brian May, from a 3-position toggle. And then I have a version of that pedal that I modded slightly to get more of a Clapton favor, but it still has the other 2 modes. For my friend Jamie Vivino, who's the Conan O'Brien musical director. And then another pedal that I haven't come out with yet, but I have like just on my website in case anyone's gonna click on, is it's called the Muff. It's like the, you guys remember the Muff Fuzz, which is the like the strap-on one, the Big Muff.
The Big Muff. Yeah, we know that name. Yeah.
Well, not the Big Muff. So before they had the Fuzz, I think this predates the Fuzz Face. Before the Big Muff, they had this thing that was like the Muff Fuzz, and it's basically like a fuzz face with clipping diodes. And I started building these after a treble booster, I was messing around with trying to build these fuzz faces, and I was like, I'm going to build a fuzz face, and I'm going to do what I did with these treble boosters. I'm going to see what I don't like about the circuit. I'm going to innovate them and do my own spin on these. Like I use silicon instead of germanium, and there's a lot of different like secrets that I've learned that I incorporate. So I tried. So this pedal, the reason I still calling it like a Muff Fuzz thing is I haven't come up with a name for it, and I'm still working on. But I started with a Muff Fuzz circuit because I think they just reissued them, but they don't make them, and I like that pedal better than the Big Muff. It's just one knob. Real simple, and it's the story about that one is I built one of those, but I used the silicon diodes like Yngwie has in his pedals, the 4.1/4/8.
Yeah, like the DoD. What is it? The original one from 30 years old, the little yellow pedal.
Which I just designed a pedal that's based on that I'm going to build tomorrow and test out. But
he's gonna build it tomorrow. That's insane.
But
by the way, how much are these pedals? Because that Phil X pedal, I'm interested in that.
Yeah, so I build everything in my basement and stuff. hand done, so it's like boutique prices. So $150 for the turbo booster, $200 for the Jimmy Vivino. This muff fuzz, probably $150. And it uses different. It's not exactly a muff fuzz. I'm still tweaking it. But the story with that is I gave one to Jimmy Vivino. I said, hey, you like this pedal? The first one, the treble booster, which was my first line. I said, you liked it so much to make a signature. Here's some new I'm working on. Let me know what you think. So he tried it, and he has this band, the Fab Four, where it's Will Lee from for those watching, you don't know, whatever, from Letterman, and they basically play the Beatles songs, and he need a certain, I think it was the beginning of Revolution, he need John Lennon's song, sound and stuff. So I built him one of these like muff fuzz variant kind of contraptions I designed, and he starts playing it, and he just told this to me a week ago. He said, yeah, I called up Sean Lennon, and I told him that, remember that, so we had this Japanese guy build us a pedal that sounded like your dad's tone. It didn't do anything. He's like, yeah, this kid gave me this pedal, and we have a signature pedal, and he gave me this fuzz, and I didn't even ask him to build this specific thing, and it actually does this sound. So, I'm gonna, I'm always consulting. I'm building one for Brian May. I got a box downstairs. I'm building one I'm consulting with Orianthi. She wants a picture of, that'll be a surprise. So I'm not allowed to share that.
Oh.
No, I can share that I'm building one for her, but that you can't share the artwork because she doesn't know. Well, it's a surprise for her.
We got to delete the video now.
But here's my dad brought up some stuff. Here's the Jimmy Vivino, just the signature model. I can number kind of like PRS. I signed the back. Here's one for my friend who I met at the Kingfish show, comedian and actor Jeff Garland. These are treble boosters, by the way. Then I got I've been working on, so after 4 years of building these, I finally had time to build myself some. So when I build some for myself, I wanted to test out some new layouts. So these are different layouts, but the same exact pedal, just different ways of mounting. So this is my personal turbo booster. And this is something I posted on Instagram that I'll announce it, but everyone's like, what is this thing? This is a turbo booster, but it's in a mini box. And because it's in a mini box, I can't fit the 3 positions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer a series of these. And I'm going to offer the Clapton, the Santana, and the Brian May. And that way you choose whatever tone you want. They're cheaper than the original. So if you want all 3, you can buy all 3, or you can buy a big one. If you want, a small pedal, and you only want one sound, it's perfect. You can get one of these. And these are all discrete. It's not surface mount. I hand solder them, and I do the artwork by hand. And the production models are laser etched. And then I built a Klon Centaur yesterday because I wanted to do it.
Of course you did.
I know the guy.
That's awesome.
Who invented the Klon? Bill Finnegan. He lives close by, in Somerville, Massachusetts. So I have a few of the original Klons, and this is a really hard pedal to build. These
how'd you get all the gook off the inside, out of the insides that he puts on there so no one can copy it?
Oh,
the silicone. There's a shitload of silicone in there.
It's skunked.
Yeah, it's gunked. I mean, well, if you really want to do it from the original, you can take a meter and measure the resistor values. But the thing about the Klon is you want to know what specific brands of parts, like Mylar or whatever used, what types. And there's a guy who actually bought a pedal in 2009 and smashed it, and thankfully he did all the work for us. So I got that kind of layout, or that schematic. And then there was a layout I used, and I used totally different. Bill has some special diodes or whatever, but they're just 1N34 kind of things. And, I got some on DigiKey. I tried them out. Then I tried some 4148s, and, I just I'm still experimenting with the diodes, but I'm not going to go into building Klons. There's enough guys cloning those, but the one I built I think sounds pretty good. It's just, I wanted to prove to myself that I could build this because it's the charge pump. The difference, in layman's terms, like non-engineering terms, I'll just explain all these
Real
pedals.
dumb is in the room right now. Tyler going to explain what he's talking about.
What? Yeah, if you want to, but
Do they want to see it?
yeah, sure. I'm sure. So like all these pedals are run off 9 volts. All these, and pedals. You think of Jimmy Page guitar tone stuff, and he's trying to make like fuzz boxes. They're kind of like they're not making the highest quality hi-fi audio. Distortion in itself is like crappy audio. That is not good, but that's what guitar players like. So the Klon is so good because I prefer the DoD, but the Klon is high end because it uses this device, the charge pump. The charge pump, so op amps, they run off usually like reels, range from like 5 to 15. So ideally, if you have the highest end, if you have the highest reels, 15 and negative 15, you have the highest headroom. The slew rate is fastest, and that essentially means everything is running optimally, highest efficiency. And the problem is, the people who make these pedals in China and whatnot, they don't want to really mess with that because it's too expensive. They can't make their profit margins, So if you run an op amp on 9 volts to 0 with virtual ground of 4.5, you're running it off of 4.5 to negative 4.5. So you're now using the minimum efficiency. So it works. But if you want to hear what an op amp sounds like when it's run off a charge pump, which generates 16.2 and negative 8.6. I know that because I looked at it yesterday. If you want to see what happens when you run the same op amp, and yeah, the Klon used the same op amp in like some of the DoDs and some of, it's not that different, but it uses a charge pump and it just runs the op amp off of higher headroom. So, it's like you have your own amplifier. So that's what makes the Klon good. And, it's like I like the DoD, and the DoD runs off 4.5 volts. It's all preference. But yeah, this is a real Klon right here with the Centaur and the Holy Grail, makes you sound like a gold-plated Jesus is the phrase and stuff. Centaur, professional overdrive. And here's like Bill's extinct phone number from Somerville.
Those of you that don't know, that pedal is probably about $2,500 or $3,000.
Yeah, but this is a very
that's the gold. That's the orange.
This is the orange gold one, and it has the Centaur on it. Which,
yeah,
honestly, the difference between them is they start discontinuing diodes, and they changed like one cap value, but it's not enough for me to really be like, oh, some people on the community, the silver one sounds better, and I'm like, dude, they both sound the same. Yeah, you know what? See, now people are gonna hate me when I say this too. I have maybe 5 of the KTRs, the new one, that surface mount with the diode.
Yeah,
all of those sound better than that. And I have 2 or 3 from Bill has a pile he makes when he's gonna send some to Jeff Becker, Joe Perry. I have 2 from that pile, and that sounds the same as the other KTRs. And that sounds better than the one that's hand built. So, I mean, I hand build things for different reasons because, surface mount, the KTR, if I'm taking it on the road, I'm going to bet the KTR is going to break first because it's surface mount. But if it breaks, I send it back and someone in China makes a board for 25 cents and puts it back in and it sounds the same. I build discrete because I don't want things to break. And that's, everyone in the industry is now using these mini pedals anyways that use surface mount and, they eventually break. So, it's not, it's a different concern for different people, different uses, and
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, there's a close friend of mine who's in the chat. We mentioned him before, Brendan B Squared. He just texted me and said, "Is it bad that I know exactly what he's talking about?" Now, would it be fine if, because like I said, he's an engineer and everything, and he builds the cigar box guitars. Would it be cool if we kind of got you two in contact and?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, give him my cell or whatever.
Your mini one isn't surface.
No, I meant yeah. Oh, what I said that before. Yeah, my mini one is not surface mount and was very hard to make because I had to squeeze this minus the switching components into this box.
So when you open the back of that, are the wires all going to be popping out like crazy?
No, I did. I forgot to mention the catalyst. So Johnny A, who I mentioned earlier, was like, "Oh, why don't you get build me a pedal? Because you're building all your other friends' pedals. When am I? Johnny's just like awesome. So he's like, why don't you build me a pedal? That's like, the kind of like he's just friendly banter kind of thing. So I'm like, well, I will build you a pedal, and I'm like serious. So he's like, okay, well, I mean, a guy who can design that beautiful guitar, it's gonna have some ideas. So he's like, I want it to be small, and I want it has to be gold, like a gold bar. It has to have my Fruit de Lure on the top of my Gibson model and my star logo, and so he's been like, hey, where's my pedal for like a year, and I'm like, dude, like I can crank out 30 of these because it's the same thing in the same box consistently for consumers. Well, the consumer is orange, not purple. But to make it small, I had to redesign the whole board, and I had 3 of the boards. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna I don't want to mess up Johnny's pedal because it was really hard to paint it.
Yeah, the painting.
Like a gold bar. So I just stuck one in a box, here. And I have 2 more boards, and it came out so well. The boards, like the wires aren't sticking out. It's actually very clean because I designed it to be all of this stuff now compacted. And see, the problem is if I were to do this again, I would stick the knob here and I put 19 millimeter like MXR 6.4 of these. And the issue is if you're buying this, you're buying something that is, made to last, one of these things. If you're buying this, I try to make mine more high quality than these people like big manufacturers who profit margins and everything in China. But you're still buying essentially a toy, this small thing. So, if you want your knob to be on here, I can do it. But if you use a 9 millimeter pot, or 9 millimeter pot, it's surface. It's PCB mount. That thing, if you step on that pot, it's gonna break. And if you step on the pot on any mini MXR pedal, it's gonna break. Or all 4 of them are gonna break. So, this one is this one's a 16 millimeter, the same as in this. But there's certain things like you have to make a decision as a designer, and I made the decision that these things are significantly cheaper to buy, and if I could make this with the big parts that won't break ever in this, then
You'd be a bazillionaire.
why would I make this? I would be putting this product out of business by making this. And it's like I can't do it with the parts available. Like they don't make a 9 millimeter pot that's of this quality because when you shrink down stuff, it's gonna get more brittle. I took material science class. It's just not physically possible. So that's what you gotta understand. Are you buying a toy? Are you buying the like the thing that's gonna hold up on the road?
Yeah, the real deal.
And I just like I have an endorser relationship with Dunlap, and they just I ordered from them I use the main Sugar Drive sometimes live, which is a Klon, exactly with the buffer. It's actually a KTR. And I just got the Mini Timmy, and I use those too, at home and stuff. But when I'm out, that's why I started my company, because stuff started breaking on the road, and that's what I want to do. But I missed. Do you say something?
What?
I think I missed a question here.
Well, Boner Jams, nice hair, Boner Jams. Tyler, what are you currently listening to, and thoughts about? How do you say that?
I think that's
6ix9ine.
that clown shoe Takashi 6ix9ine or something.
Oh, that guy.
Did he disrespect Street Code with his recent auctions? Happy Friday, everyone. Stay safe. And Boner Jam shirts coming soon.
Recent auctions. You mean recent
Actions.
Actions.
Action Jacksons.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
Auction.
I have no idea what he's talking about with his recent actions. I don't know what he means.
Well, I don't follow that dude, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to much rap at all. I hate rap. I wrote a song about it, as I mentioned earlier. But I'm not opposed to like one of my friends who's getting me into like some more modern like stuff that's like musical. In my opinion, is I don't know if you guys have heard, like Evan Shane Stanley is what he goes. He's Paul Stanley's son, and he's a good friend of mine, and he listens to all this modern stuff. Some Post Malone, some like hits, and it's really interesting because like I ended up Post Malone, his producer, not like that. He did a good album recently. But, everything before that is just rap and I don't listen to it. But he did this album because he has this producer, Watt. And Watt just did Ozzy Osbourne's new album, which I think is one of the best Ozzy albums. And this guy, I mean, he just played Wish You Were Here with Miley Cyrus. This Watt guy on SNL, this Watt guy is like all over.
Andrew Watt?
Yeah, Andrew Watt.
He's a good friend of mine. Good guy.
Oh,
I knew him when he was Andrew Wattman.
Yeah. From New York, NYU.
Yeah, it's a good friend of mine.
Here's your hookup.
Yeah. No, I've been trying to meet that guy forever, forever, like the last year since I've been introduced to him. He's like, I'm just like really inspired by the fact that he can, like I said for me earlier, it's about the song. And, I mean, you got to remember Van Halen was doing like with Jump and stuff. They were doing synth stuff, and I don't dislike the synth stuff. Eddie was being creative and going on Michael Jackson records, doing all Aerosmith with their Run DMC collab and all this stuff. And I really, for me, it's about the song, and I really respect what Watt does, where he can go and do Ozzy Osbourne stuff. Then he can go and do, Post Malone, Nicki Minaj, Miley Cyrus. I saw him, some of the Gibson guys went to this event for Robbie Krieger of The Doors, who I've met a handful of times. I actually played for once. And he, Watt was playing like Light My Fire, Roadhouse Blues with Miley Cyrus. And, he's a really versatile musician, and he kind of inspires me in a songwriting, producing way. So, I'm not trying to diss popular music at all. Like I don't like the rap side of things. I've never checked out 6ix9ine, maybe he's like some, maybe he, like, you listen to his record and he has a guy like Watt, and he's like a Post Malone where he sings songs, and I just don't know that. I haven't checked out the guy, so I can't really comment. Oh, Scary Little Green Man. Yeah, I like the track Ordinary Man because I'm a huge Elton John fan, and he had Elton on that, and Watt put that whole thing together too.
I'll have to check out Ozzy's new record. I like his old stuff. Like,
I think it's the best record since like Diary, I think is what I said.
That's a tall order there.
Yeah. Except for the Yeah, I know of that guy because of my idiot roommates.
It's a shame, I'll say this. It's a shame that somebody like that is a star in America or the world, I guess.
Yeah.
Somebody like that.
What is the world coming to?
Is what kids are listening to nowadays and wanting to like be and act like. It's a shame.
Throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
Oh yeah, that's that guy that.
I think he was just released.
He did like some YouTube thing, and he made $2 million in a day.
Yeah,
God.
I don't know. I can't like
Jeez.
the Kardashian. Like I don't get that whole scene, I guess. But I don't know. Paul McCartney digs Kanye West, so I don't. I thought the song that they did, and that's a Paul McCartney produced song. I thought that song was terrible. And, that's Paul McCartney.
I'm hoping that Paul McCartney made it terrible on purpose.
Yeah. But I mean, he started saying the stuff how Kanye was like being in the studio with John Lennon. And I was like, are you kidding me? Ugh. And then Kanye was talking about how like he's like, oh, I'm in the studio. He's like, oh yeah, I just kind of like described something. And then, I was like, yo, Paul, you do this. And like, then Paul played something. Oh yeah, that's good, man. And like that was it. And Kanye's like, oh yeah, I'm a genius. Like I thought of that because I told Paul to do this. And so I don't get what that's all about. And I was mad because the last time I saw Paul McCartney, he didn't do Jet because he did the Kanye song instead. So I was like, are you kidding me? Because
what is he thinking?
Well, I mean, I know what he's thinking. He wants the younger generation to listen to his music too. So he wants to, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Actually, the first guy to make it on the 6 Decades chart is James Taylor. And I don't think Paul will get on it as an individual artist because in the 60s he wasn't an individual artist.
The Beatles.
Yeah, he was in some band back then.
Yeah.
Unless 10 years from now he's still making music.
Oh yeah, if 10 years from now Paul releases another record, then he'll be but then James Taylor might be on the 7 Decades chart.
You never know.
He'll be younger looking 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But I don't think Paul McCartney could get into Kanye's party.
Yeah, Paul got banned. Like, no, not banned. He tried to go to Kanye West party, and the bouncer didn't let him in. And the TMZ guys are like, "Do you know who this is?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't care." He's like, "Not on the list."
I heard about that. Yeah.
I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "I would be."
It's Sir Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Call me Sir. God damn it.
Yeah, the craziest thing do you guys know do you guys know like Craig's in LA? No.
You watch TMZ?
Yeah, if you watch TMZ, it's like, Eddie Van Halen's there, many times per month. Everyone's there. Craziest night, I walk in and, as the story goes, like there's more, you're going to think the first guy, like, oh, wow, and then like more people come. So I walk in and I go to take a whiz. And Elton John is there talking to Don Rickles and Bob Newhart with 2 security guards.
Sidney Poitier.
Oh yeah, Sidney Poitier and
Lady Gaga.
And well, I'm getting to that. And so I start going bathroom, and this place is known as like a ladies of the night kind of environment, like to pick them up. And so
thank God Mancuta's not here.
Yeah. So we're picking up. So my little sister's waiting for the bathroom, and this like girl in a wig gets out of the bathroom, and looked like she was drunk or something, heavy makeup. My sister starts texting me and we're standing right, like my distance now to the wall or something, to that wall was like where she was staying. My sister's like, "Oh, is that Lady Gaga?" And I'm like, "I don't give a fuck. Elton John is right there." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, turn around, and I really want to say something like, "Oh my God," but there were like 4 security guards. I didn't want to get shot or something. And then this like lady's like looking at us like, "Oh, why don't you recognize me?" Like this weird look. She's like, "Oh, I think that was Lady Gaga." I'm like, I don't care if it was. So anyways, we sit down, and they were like, "Oh, so Lady Gaga and Elton John were just had this table." And then the next time I went there with actually my friend Evan that I just mentioned earlier, and John Mayer was there, and they don't allow photos and stuff in this restaurant. And John comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, do I know you from somewhere?" And I'm like, maybe we met one time at NAMM. I don't think we met in person, but I do. Mark Agnesi had just posted a pedal I made for him, and so I mentioned that, and I mentioned the fact that we're from Boston. We have a lot of mutual friends from Berkeley, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I think I just saw Mark did this thing today and stuff." So I said, I was like, I didn't know what to say. So he's like, "Hey, want to take a selfie or something?" So he takes my phone, and because it was a breaking conversation, he probably figured I was going to ask him to take a photo. So he took this selfie on my phone, and it's the one time in the restaurant you get kicked out if you take a photo, but because John Mayer knew me and was engaging me in conversation, they didn't give anyone a hard time. But I started going there just because I've always wanted to meet Eddie Van Halen. I got close one time when I went backstage in 2012. JD brought me back, and I checked out Alex's kit and everything. I saw Eddie, but he was behind a window. I can't meet Eddie and I can't meet Clapton. Those are
Eddie!
Eddie!
Boom, 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 boom.
What?
I took you to the Rainbow.
Oh no, that's not PG. I can't tell that here.
They love it.
If it's
It involves Ron Jeremy and some of his friends.
Tuesday night, the Tuesday night show would be better for that.
Yeah, because Ron Jeremy blocked me on
Come back
Twitter,
Tuesday. What are you doing Tuesday? We were talking about Ron Jeremy last Tuesday.
Yeah, he if you want to see him, you can go to the Rainbow. But the first time I did actually go to the Rainbow, I met Billy Gibbons there. So that was cool.
That's a cool place.
You were with the Sarzos that night.
Yeah, we were with Robert Sarzo that night. Rudy's brother, and we know those two guys and stuff. And he went there because he was showing us he had a guitar in the wall, and it happened that Billy Gibbons was there. Billy Gibbons was really wasted that night, though. I saw him stumbling out of the bathroom, and I think he puked in the toilet. It was not a good night for him, but
Nice guy though.
Yeah, he was a great guy, and I've met him, a few times since then, and he's always great.
Why don't you tell him the Ron story? It's funny.
Go ahead. Yeah, tell it.
Yeah, you
tell
can
us
tell
Ron
it.
Jeremy story.
It's after 10 o'clock.
I think that involved Jerry Cantrell too.
Oh yeah, Jerry Cantrell was
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah, he was kind of a guy. But so I'm trying to remember which one. So because every time you go to Rainbow or even the Lux Hotel on a brunch day, in LA, you're gonna see Ron Jeremy. He's just hangs there. So
He's there for lunch.
yeah, so we go to the Rainbow, and these two girls who were dressed pretty scanty were waiting and stuff for Ron to show up. And I was there with my dad. It was 2 a.m. LA time, and we
went to buy shirts.
Yeah, my dad went to buy shirts, and I was we were hanging at the table. It's right next to Roth's picture. And it was when he did this photo shoot, and he had this 70s looking grass behind him or something. So I remember I was at that table, and Ron's coming in, my dad's buying a shirt, and these two girls are talking to Ron, and they're oh, sign my chest and whatever and stuff, sign my buttocks and shit. So my dad, the pizza comes, and I start eating pizza. Ron throws this one girl on the table and starts spanking her and shit. And
Right in front of you?
I'm 14.
On the
15.
table.
Yeah,
On
on our table, because they were a table across the way. And
On
my
your
dad
pizza?
What happened to the pizza?
it was directly after I was just eating the slice I had, but I was
Oh, the slides. Oh man.
He threw her on the table, pulled up her dress, and she had a G-string on. And he was signing her rear end and spanking her. I'm coming back with shirts. And Tyler's sitting there. He was like 15 years old. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, and then out of the blue, like Jerry Cantrell came to pick up a pizza, and he was kind of like he's not such a great guy, but
Oh.
He wasn't so nice.
he was in a mood.
Yeah, he wasn't so nice that night. But hey, listen, I get it.
The other guy that I met that was not so nice is Jeff Beck. But I don't know what. Yeah, that kind of like someone asked me to do some Jeff Beck on the live stream last night, and I was like, I used to learn Jeff Beck, and then I met him, and like I kind of like haven't learned Jeff Beck since then. And it's not like a grudge thing. It's more of I try to learn Jeff Beck, and then I just think about like kind of like him being like not so cool. So
That was a that wasn't.
but I've heard people who have met him numerous times and he's super cool, and then he's like not cool and like pretends like he doesn't know them. Like we're talking like 2 days in a row kind of thing.
Uh-huh. Jeff Beck. Well, I've heard that he has unbearable tinnitus. So that could explain a mood.
He
You
was
know?
kind of wobbling.
Well, you can explain the situation. We were in a hotel,
Yeah, this was
and he was on the same floor. And is it okay if I talk?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, man.
So, my son and I have been doing these crazy adventures since he was like 10. We should tell him the Ian Anderson story. That's
Ian. That's
So-
another guy. He's a character, though.
Just found out he's got inoperable lung cancer.
Oh no!
Yeah, well,
Just found that out
you
on
said that
Facebook
the other
today.
day.
Oh, I didn't know we had that. Wow.
No, it's the lung disease.
Lung disease. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, it's all cancer. as
Yeah,
far as I'm concerned.
COPD, but it's most people die of lung cancer after that, and either way, it's gonna deteriorate his condition.
So, with the Jeff Beck story, so we're on the same hotel floor. It's just Tyler and me, and he was, I don't know, Tyler was probably about 14, and we're walking down a hallway, and Jeff Beck's there with his girlfriend and another couple. So we're just walking, and he's coming, and I see him, and I go, Tyler, it's Jeff Beck. And Tyler looked at him, and I go, oh, Mr. Beck. I said, is it possible, can my son get a picture with you? He's a big fan. And he stops, he looks at Tyler, and he goes, no. And I go, I really? You're not going to take a picture with a kid that's a fan? He's got a couple of your Jeff Beck guitars. And he looks at him, he goes, no. I said no, and he walks away.
Damn.
So his
Cold-blooded.
His girlfriend, who was 17, by the way.
looks at us and says, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll see if I can talk him into it. I go, forget it. And that was it. But the Ian Anderson story is hysterical. So here's Tyler. What were you, 10 or 11?
Yeah, it was a school night too. I
It was
think.
like a school night. He's in like 5th grade. And, I tell my wife, yeah, we're going to go out for ice cream, And I put him in the car and we drive down to see Ian Anderson, which is obviously not ice cream. So we go through the whole concert and it was great. So at the end, I go, let's see if we can meet him. So we kind of hang it outside and we buy one of his shirts. And Ian Anderson's coming up. And it was surprising because he's coming up in like a little Toyota Corolla, like an old one, with a woman. And I don't know if it was his wife or whatever, probably. An older woman, and they come up, and we're standing there with his shirt. So he stops the car, and he says hi, and he's pretty nice. So so Tyler says, "Hey, can I have your autograph?" So he says, "Yeah." So he goes, "What do you want me to sign?" He goes, "Sign my shirt." So it's one of his black shirts with him on it. So he goes, "The shirt's black. Where do you want me to sign it?" Like that. So I look at him. I go, "Well, sign it on the white part." So he says, okay. So he looks at me and goes, well, stretch it out. I can't sign it unless you stretch it. So I stretch out this thing on the side of a Corolla. He signs his face, and then he looks at us and he goes, off with you now. And I'm like, are you serious? So Tyler and I kind of walk away, and Tyler's 10 years old. He looks at me and goes, gee, Daddy, is everybody from England an asshole? And I'm like, no.
Then recently, when I emailed with Brian May like a few times, I realized everyone from England is not an asshole.
No, they're nice. Well, we hung out with Martin Barr a couple of nights, and he was so cool.
Oh yeah, Martin recorded in the same, my last record, Next in Line, that has Joe Louis Walker on it too. I recorded that in Connecticut at the same studio that Martin did his last like few records.
Yeah, the Factory Underground in Norwalk.
Yeah, he lives there now, I think.
Wow.
Martin was so cool. He was, and we hung out with him a couple of nights, and him and his wife, and I mean, totally different. But you know, I can understand why these people after 30 or 40 years just don't want to deal with fans and whatever. I mean, I do it for my son. I mean, I'm a huge fan of all these guys, but I purposely don't get pictures with them, and I don't ask him for autographs. He's like, you know, I'm a 57-year-old man. But my son, 10, 11, 12, 13, I mean, they should be, you know, taking pictures and signing autographs. And it's crazy. It's crazy that they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand sometimes somebody's having a bad day, like something like, hey, not today. Or if there's a lot of people around, they don't want to like all of a sudden cause a huge commotion. Like,
well,
I get it, but
you know, there's a way to do it. If you don't want to, you know, there's a way to at least be nice. No, not today. I'm sorry. Something like that. You know, I can understand celebrities wanting to have a life and not have people, you know, asking them for shit all the time. You know,
Absolutely.
in this case where your son's a, you know, not tender age, but you know, a young kid interested in this rock star. That's a different story. You should always accommodate.
because you get a fan for life there. If you
but you know, and he's impressionable at that age. So, but I can understand the guys like us. Hey man, can I have your autograph? Can I take a picture? Get the fuck away from me, dude. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I mean, I think that night, I think Jerry Cantrell, when we saw him, I think he just might have been having a bad night. He was, you know, he had his hood over his head and he was all zipped up. And he was there, and I just kind of looked at him. I go, "Oh, are you Jerry Cantrell?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Oh, great. You know, would you mind taking a picture with my son?" And he goes, "No." And I go, "Really?" He goes, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And he just turned around and walked away. And okay.
The last time I saw Jerry Cantrell was pretty funny. So I was at the Gibson at NAMM. They had this VIP artist like lounge where like you go in, you have like Marcella and an iced tea or something, you know. So I was at it in like 2019 or something, like right when they changed hands at company. So I was in this lounge and like I was back there, I was playing like Eleanor Rigby and like Peter Frampton's looking over my shoulder. Oh, who's that playing? Like, you know, it's like the who's who guy. So, you know, Jerry Cantrell, and the last time I had seen him in this rainbow thing, he had short hair. So he comes in and, you know, he just starts sitting down. And then I noticed there are a bunch of security guards there or whatever. And, no, they didn't throw me out. They threw like you out for some reason. And they threw out like all my friends. And I was like there and I'm like watching. I'm like, man, who is this guy who's butchering these UFO riffs like really loud? And then it was like, you know, then I walk out. I'm like, man, this is too loud. I'm leaving. So I walk out of the thing and there's like all these security guards there. And then, you know, I was like, why'd they kick you out? And they said like Jerry Cantrell. I'm like, oh, that's the guy who's playing those UFO riffs. And I'm like, why does he need a security guard? But, you know, freaking like Robbie Krieger and Peter Frampton are like across from me in this hallway and they don't need you. Rick Nelson, you know, I mean, like one of my close friends, Elliot Easton from the Cars, who's a great guy, you know, he doesn't need a security guard. And, you know, Alice in Chains was a big band, but I mean, you know, his contemporaries, and I would argue like Peter Frampton, like might be, you know, a notch above in the Guitar Heroes thing. They don't need security guards. You know, what's up with this guy? So, you know, I thought that was, if you're like Stevie Wonder, I see him walking around NAMM, you know, we all see him walking, makes his trip.
Yeah, but is he you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Every single time.
Yes, he does.
Right.
Yes, he does. He
doesn't, he brings like his friend, he brings like Alvin Taylor. He doesn't have security guards. He brings like a posse of friends. Right. And, you know, those guys are just like, hey man, you know, he's not doing photos.
Yeah.
And they're polite, but he doesn't have a security guard. So why is Jerry Cantrell? We need two security guards.
Get him on and ask him, Jerry. Yeah. He's in the chat.
I would have gotten kicked out for that.
Well, what's his face? The drummer in the Peppers. He was really cool.
Chad Smith.
Yeah, Chad.
Yeah, I
Smith.
was wearing a 51. I was wearing the Van Halen, the Frankie back shirt with the 5150 hologram, and he comes up to me in
That's
like
the shirt you gave me, Jay.
yeah. So I'm wearing or it's a sweatshirt. Actually, this was funny. So we were going to LA, and we go to LA about 4 or 5 times a year, and we're just going there like in March or something, and we get on the plane from Boston, and Will Ferrell was on our plane.
Yeah, that's right.
And we get there, and we go to the I think it's the W Hotel or something where they have those replicas of the elephants and the near the Chinese theater.
We're staying at the Lowe's.
The Lowe's Hotel.
Right.
So we walk to
Okay.
that courtyard, and I'm wearing this 5150 jersey, and I had just been on a plane with Will Ferrell, and I was jet lagged. And there's Chad Smith looking almost the same. And he's
Dude,
like,
it was a great flight, wasn't it? What?
yeah, no, it was weird. And he said like, my dad's like, would you take a photo of my son? Before even responding to that, he's like, dude, I love your jacket. Freaking Van Halen's the shit. Or like something like that.
Yeah,
he was like
totally
really cool.
He was,
Awesome.
Most people
Like,
are cool. The only people we really had trouble with was Beck and
Or Lita or some
what?
Lita.
Oh no,
I know.
don't bring her up. It's not worth mentioning that one.
No, I wasn't getting. I don't tell that. But
A famous female rock star from the 80s.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, but Chad was once again. I mean, Jerry Cantrell probably had a bad night the night we met him. All right, he probably wasn't into it. I just couldn't understand. I just couldn't understand Jeff Beck. I mean, I sold my Jeff Beck Strats. I got rid of them after that. I was so pissed.
Oh.
They actually made money, but I did keep the Jeff Beck 54 Les Paul. And,
The Oxblood.
yeah, I got it.
Nice guitar.
Yeah, that's another story in itself. You want to hear a quick guitar story? Can I talk?
Of course.
All
Why
right.
don't you put yourself in screen so we could see it?
Nah, I'm wearing my Reverb sweatshirt and some shorts.
What's wrong with that? I'm on reverb every day.
Oh, yeah, look at me. I'm on it.
There we go. Hey there.
So look at that. I've seen better hair on a coconut. Good Lord.
Hey, listen, that's why I do this.
Yeah. Well, I'm not far from that.
do you want me to get that or
What?
the-
I don't know where it is. Where is it?
it's like
Oh, you got to dig it out. So what's happened is Tyler, how old were you then? We were at Brad Whitford's house from Aerosmith.
like 2006. It was around the tour of Lenny Kravitz and crew.
Yeah,
2006ish or 2005, like Rockin' the Joint or something.
So I'm at Brad's house with Tyler, and Brad's kids were there. Tyler's friendly with Graham and Harrison. Harrison has one of Tyler's pedals. It's actually
Oh, he
got
has the
fuzz.
Yeah, the fuzz I was talking about earlier. If you go to the
Mhm.
picture, you'll be like, hey, why is this, have a photo of some guy named Harry Whitford on it? So that's the only one of those I've made so far is for Harry.
That was a custom build for him. It was a little different. But anyways, so we're at Brad's house, and Brad's like, yeah, I got this new guitar. It's really, really cool. Check it out. And I'm looking at it, and he's like, yeah, it's like the Jeff Beck wine version of the, Oxblood of the Les Paul. So they're like, wow, that's great. He goes, yeah, I just bought it in Hollywood with Joe and I, Joe Perry and him, each bought one. And he said there was a third one there too. It was just hanging on the wall. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like,
Tyler, get out of the way.
I'm trying to read the comments.
Use your
There you
phone.
So what happens is, you want me to get out of the way? So what happens is, I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm like, oh, what the hell? I'm going to see if I can get it. So any of you guys in LA right now or no?
No, I'm in Santa Cruz, but I'm in LA.
Santa Cruz, cool. Hey, Turner Model 1. That's in Santa Cruz.
Oh, really?
Rick Turner, he's in Santa Cruz. He's from Boston. He's a Boston guy. He grew up in Marblehead, and he went to Boston University. Yeah. So anyways,
Cool.
so what happens is I say, oh, what the hell? I'm going to call up a Hollywood store. I know somebody there. Maybe we can find it. So I call up a guy named Cat Tate. All right. He's been there forever. He's like 6'4", really long gray hair and a ponytail. Really, really good guy. And I call him up and I'm like, hey, Cat, I'm looking for this guitar. It's an Oxblood wine color Les Paul. So he's like, oh, yeah. He goes, you know what? We had a couple of them. He said, Brad Whitford and Joe Perry just bought them. I go, yeah, they said there's a third one there. So he's like, I don't know. Let me see. So he's looking around. I'm on hold. This is at Brad's house. He comes back. He goes, I found it. He goes, if you've ever been in the Hollywood store, there's it goes up to the ceiling with guitars. He said somebody put it at the top level next to, with the Epiphones. So I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, you want it? I go, yeah. He goes, I can discount this thing. How much is it? So I looked at what's it going to cost me? He goes, how's $1,800 sound? And I'm like, that sounds great. So I buy the thing on the phone and he goes to ship it to me. And I turn around to Brad. I go, hey, I just bought that same guitar. He goes, yeah. He goes, they're really pricey though. I go, I don't know. I got mine for like $1,800. He's like, what? And he was like, couldn't believe it. He's like, yeah, like 3 times that price. Like, I don't know. The guy just said it's sitting here. I can have it. So I bought it. But we have another story. What about the signed Eddie Van Halen guitar?
Oh yeah.
That's
we can
a
go into
crazy
that. Yeah.
story.
Oh, what's that?
You want to hear a crazy one?
Of course.
All right. So Eddie signed.
Remember the Guitar Center thing?
The
where
Guitar
he signed
Center. He signed 12 EVH.
He's
Black
the
ones and white
Wolfgangs.
ones?
The Wolfgangs.
12 Wolfgangs.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm at the Guitar Center in Boston, and there's 3 hours difference. So I'm at the Boston store waiting for the one in California to open up so I can buy the guitar. So right away, and this is PK, who from Sonotone was the GC Pro guy at the time. So I go there and I go, okay, we're going to get it. And he says, which one you want? And I said, I want the white one, but whatever you can get. So we go on, calls the guy, and he says, okay. So the guy sells me one. And there's only 12, and they sold out within seconds of the thing. Eddie doesn't, he signs the ones he plays and he sells them, but he doesn't sign a lot of Wolfgangs. So the guitar shows up in about a week, and I open it up, and it doesn't have the signature on it. So I'm like, I don't want the guitar. I got a half dozen of them. I don't want it unless it has a signature on it. So he's like, I bought the one with the signature for you. So he goes into the corporate thing, and because he's a higher level guy, and he looks it up, and he goes, somebody at the store backed you out of the sale after you bought it. They returned it. They sold it to somebody else, and then they sold you another one.
Oh.
They just returned. So I'm like, well, that's not fair.
That person needs to be fired. I worked for Guitar Center for 10 years. That wouldn't fly with me.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you what happens. So I end up going, well, that sucks. They said, well, what do you want? I said, well, I look at the guy, go, well, just call up Eddie. I'm sure he'll sign another one for me. Like that. They're like, he's not going to sign another one. I go, well, that's what I want. So it went on for like 6 months. And finally, they offered me, what did they offer me? They offered me like a $5,000 store credit. They offered me my money back and a $5,000 store credit. And I said to him, I go, listen, it's very nice of you, but I really want the guitar. So they called me up from California and they said, listen, will the problem go away? We have one of them. We still have one, the one that he was signing on the cover of the magazine. He's the Guitar Center thing.
Yeah.
He said, we have it. We kept it for the store. And if you want it, we'll work our way and we'll sell you that one. So I said, absolutely. And they said, well, it's going to take a little while because we priced that one at $16,000 versus the other ones were $3,000, I think, or something, $3,300. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So it took like literally another 2 or 3 months, and they sold me that one for whatever it was, $3,300 or $3,500, and they sold me that one, and they sent me like 25 of the magazines, and they said, you've got the one that.
Is that it right there?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the exact one.
The one he's signing. That's the one. I own that.
Wow.
Awesome.
So I've had a few people try to buy it from me for stupid money. I mean, I don't know.
Some guy on eBay was selling another white one. He claimed it was the one in the magazine.
Yeah, he claimed it was there was 2 white ones. He claimed it was the one he was signing, but if you look at the other one, the signature's in a little bit of a different place.
So did you ever find out what happened to the employee that?
The employee got fired. It was like a manager too. It was an employee and a manager, and they canned them both.
Good.
So and I got one even worse than that. And when I was in the Boston store, I bought one of those Les Paul tribute guitars that they came out with a few years ago with the trapeze bridge. Mm-hmm. And do you guys know who Ernie Bach is? Ernie Bach? No. Ernie Bach's father was Ernie Bach's father is the United States, or was, he died. He was the United States distributor for Subaru cars. Every Subaru that comes into the United States, they make a percentage on. So he's a very wealthy guy, and he's an extremely nice guy. He's just a wonderful, wonderful guy. He played in the band Ernie and the Automatics, which is basically him, Sib Hacian, who else? Barry Goudreau. It was the band Boston without Tom Schultz, and it was Ernie. So Ernie and I buy these two guitars, and I was like, I wanted the one with the lowest serial number. It really makes no difference because they didn't go anywhere in value. Mm-hmm. So I buy one, and Ernie buys one, and two other guys buy them. So at a later date, so the two come in. One's for me and one's for Ernie. So the guy says, "Okay, come on down and pick it up." So I'm like, "Okay." So I get in the car and I drive down there. And a guy backed me and Ernie out of the sale and sold them to the other two guys that were waiting. And they're like, so there they are. So your other two
picked up.
Cool. So he says your other two. So they're like, oh, well, what's the difference? You're going to get two. You're going to get one anyways. It's coming. So I go, well, you shouldn't have backed me out of the sale. It's not right. Mm-hmm. So they said, well, we're sorry. And it was a store manager and another guy, salesman, who I know very well. So I was like, well, that sucks. So then I had to wait another 3 months to get these guitars, which they came in, and it's a decent guitar. It's, it's more of a quasi collector's item.
The story is if any of you have played I played the first run Les Paul ever from 1953. And we're talking, I didn't know these existed until I played one and then Googled it. So the first ever run had no binding on the neck.
Right. And they also had the wrong neck pitch.
Right.
Yeah, the wrong neck pitch and the bridge. You couldn't palm mute. And then they had these weird dome knobs that were like this tall. They're crazy. So I played one of these. And, it played terribly. So the story behind this tribute guitar is when he died, Les originally had a different style trapeze bridge that was going to replace the original one. And instead they did something else this one never went to production. So this guitar that they released, this tribute one,
it says prototype.
So that one was the only one that they've done. But then they did another run. Actually, they lied and they did another run like a year later. But those two runs are the only runs ever that Gibson did with this bridge. So it's like that's the reason they did.
It's an okay guitar. I mean, I bought it because I thought, hey, it might be worth something someday, which it isn't. Yeah. I got a closet full of boat anchors. But anyways, so to make a long story short, which I'm obviously not doing. I was like really pissed, and the guy looks at me, my salesman, who's really cool, Larry Reed, who now works for Sweetwater. He's my guy at Sweetwater. He's like, listen, come in, pick out any guitar amp you want, we'll give it to you, and to make it right and whatever. And I go, look, I'm not looking for a favor. It just wasn't the right thing to do, and it's like I'm kind of pissed about it because what if it was something else that was collectible or whatever? So. Anyways, it was the store manager, and that guy got fired over it.
Good. He should have. No questions asked.
Him and the salesman both got fired. I mean, I didn't want to cause the guy his job, but it's like if they take your credit card and the numbers are in there, nobody should be fooling around with that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So
you were talking about signed Van Halen guitars. I'll show you the guitar that Eddie signed for me. Let's see if I can get that to work.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Peavy?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, I like that. That's the American version of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think we have that in a gold top, don't we?
Yeah. That I really do like the PVs. I mean, the bird's eye they did on that was crazy. I don't. Someone told me it was like diseased trees or something to get that much bird's eye.
Yeah. It is the disease. Anything with flame or bird's eye or quilt, it's all diseased wood. But it's pretty.
Yeah, I mean that you know that was insane. The way they did those PVs. I like them. The EVHs in terms of playability. I like the EVHs like in terms of holding up, but I don't know why they did away cost thing. But they shouldn't have done away with the whole bird's eye. You know, Ernie Ball did that, then PV, then EVH is only on the front of the neck.
I think that bone color is the best color in those guitars.
I also think that they, on the new ones, I think they should still make a maple neck USA guitar. They don't make a maple fretboard.
Oh, they stopped doing that?
In 2009, 2010.
That's
2010 they stopped it. Yeah.
Because
I've got a 2009 right behind me, but and it's amazing. But
You guys keep on rocking. I gotta put a 3-year-old to bed.
Oh, sorry, man.
I got to split. Tyler, it was great meeting you, man. We'll get you hooked up with Brendan B Squared in the chat. You guys talk all that engineering and making stuff and resistors and
Jesus, it's 10:38. I gotta go too.
Oh,
I got to split now.
Yeah,
EVH before you guys go, or
if you can do it really quick, that'd be great. But
I'll look at it. I'll check it out.
The yes. Well, oh yeah, with the yeah, you know, it's weird because Eddie was like, his whole model was like, these are not my signature guitar. They're, you know, this is like guitar for everyone. That's why.
There was a display at NAMM that said this. It said this because his actually, where is it? Right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Joe Christian, are you in here, dude? I just got some mail at the P.O. box from Joe Christian. He sent me these guitar picks. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe. So you got this. Look, you got this here. This is what I use. And then there was at one of the NAMM displays, they had the I scratched out and it said "we."
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Nice.
that's it. But
Awesome.
yeah,
Cool.
it's the first time I've really taken it out of the case.
But we yeah, so I mean, I just don't understand why Eddie would do that. You know, why he would like kind of switch his bit. You know, he can offer a stealth and like a bunch of stealths, but like, why would he not offer a maple board? You know?
Yeah. Hey Tyler, it was great meeting you. I got to go, but I'm interested in getting one of your pedals. Can I reach out to you at some point?
Yeah, definitely. Feel free, and you know, get my info and stuff from Johnny, and you know, feel free to text me or whatever.
Awesome. Thanks. Johnny, see you later. Tyler, nice meeting you. Tell your dad I said goodbye. Great stuff, man. I wish nothing but the best for you.
Thank you, man.
All right, buddy. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I had a man, I was gonna say something about the
PV.
No, about the EVH still, but
The Wolfgang.
Oh yeah, Wolf. I was I don't know if you saw Wolf posted that, you know, his Wolfgang bass.
Are you talking about the comment?
Yeah, and he's like, I try to get Fender to do it, and they wouldn't do it. So maybe it's not Eddie's decision. Maybe it's them.
Somebody, Wolfgang Van Halen posted a picture of his. The whole thing was what was it? Here's Wolfgang's Wolfgang bass is what the tagline was. And somebody asked Wolfgang in the comments, how come there isn't an EVH Wolfgang signature bass? And Wolfgang responded back to the guy saying that he asked Fender and they said they weren't interested or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One of those in a second.
Yeah.
Well, it would be the perfect match set now that you have the EVH signature guitar, like EVH guitar.
Oh yeah.
The Wolf, like, I mean, yeah. So I don't know why. So that's what I was gonna say. That was my point. Like, you know, maybe Eddie has no say. Maybe, you know, he just makes the money and that's it, and they use his name.
I mean, it's his company, you know.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always been his company, but I don't know, like in terms of these contracts, maybe they get a final say or something, because you would think like if Wolfgang wanted this to happen, he would probably go through his dad, and if his dad had the final veto, he would probably be like, no, I want to do this. I mean, I can't imagine. Eddie's always been so supportive. I can't imagine him saying no. So yeah,
last
that's
time
weird.
we saw them, Wolfgang was great. He was really, really good.
Mhm.
The first round when he was like 14 or 15, he was a little.
We didn't see the 15. We didn't see them.
No,
No,
we saw it
7.
when you were watching it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on YouTube.
It was a little rough, but when we saw him on the next round, he was great.
His background vocals are impeccable.
We were in the second row in New Hampshire. On the first show of the tour was in Bangor, Maine. So I brought Tyler.
This is the last one.
What?
This is the last. Yeah. No, I told him earlier about the Steinberger thing.
I drove him up to Bangor, Maine, which is like a 9-hour ride from Boston. It was horrible.
Wow. Man.
But it's way up. It's past Canada, but in the United States. But so then we went to a whole bunch of shows, but we were at the one in Manchester, New Hampshire, and we were sitting in the second row. You can find this on YouTube. What year was this? 15? What year was this?
Oh yeah. In the fight, yeah.
And a Hell's Angels fight broke out in our row with all the people next to us.
They're Pretty Woman
beating the crap out of each other.
Oh, and I've seen that video. Yeah.
If you look,
and Roth started yelling at them.
That might have been 12.
That was 12.
And
yeah.
Roth stopped. It was
because Bangor was 2015.
That might have been 2012.
That was 2012.
Was it really? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I've seen that video. Yeah,
it's the same tour. Wasn't it the same tour?
No.
Well, anyway, so if you look real close, Tyler and I are like standing there next to the people where he stops the show, which was insane.
And the other thing too that happened at that concert, look at Jump from that exact show, because I swear what happened was like I was there and the sound suddenly went out. They're in the middle of it and it sounded all muffled.
Was that when Roth broke the microphone?
No, that was he broke the microphone like 5 times for that show or so. Kept like losing his in-ears and shit. And he but no, the sound went out completely. Or like it was like dead and level. I could only hear the drums. And I'm like, I must be imagining it because it went back on 30 seconds. And I watched the video, and you're watching the video, and they're doing Jump, and at the end it's like, and like it just goes up. And I'm like, oh my, like, and I knew it was a thunderstorm. Maybe it was something with that. And what it was my friend who like works for Aerosmith, who's one of my electronics mentors. He told me about this fiber optic diamond tipped AT&T cable that's like $1 million. And what they do is like if it gets unplugged or something, they have 2 of them, and they have guys on walkie-talkies. And whenever the sound goes out, one guy walkie-talkies to the other guy at the stage, and they say like 1, 2, 3. They unplug the cable, and 1, 2, 3, and they plug in the new cable. So it only takes 30 seconds to get sound back on a concert. So that's what happened. But you can watch in the video. It's like a weird like outage in the middle of the song.
That was nuts. That was a crazy.
That's weird.
I've taken Tyler I've done a lot of crazy things with him. I'm surprised I haven't got thrown out of.
And only half of them are their name.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your posts. I think we're all friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
For a lot of years. I think I've seen a lot of your adventures. A lot of the pictures from a lot of stuff.
I'm blessed that I've been able to take some time and travel with him. It hasn't. I'm truly blessed because it's not everybody gets the opportunity, and I just put a lot of hours in so that I can get weekends off, and we do these stupid trips where we'll leave on a Thursday night, fly to California, and come back Sunday night. I mean, it's insane.
Wow.
But he said we go 4 or 5 times a year to California. I think we've averaged 9 or 10 times a year for the last 10 years.
Wow.
I mean, we used to always. I was out there for almost 2.5 weeks in December, and then we went back. We were home for 2 weeks, and we went to the NAMM show. Remember that we were there for 2.5 weeks. Flew home for like 10 days. Went back for the NAMM show over the weekend. came back for 3 or 4 days, and then you were playing in what? In Memphis, right, or Nashville?
Mhm.
So we had to get back on a plane like 4 days later and fly back to Nashville. It was nuts. So we spent a lot of time on flights. But by the way, Santa Cruz is one of my favorite places. It's unbelievable over there. It's so beautiful.
Man, well, next time you guys come out to California, when this whole thing is over
Oh,
with,
yeah.
you got to come up here and we'll hang out.
Totally.
Absolutely. Are you familiar with the Turner Model 1 guitars, or?
Let me look that up.
It's what Lindsey Buckingham plays in
Oh, okay.
So Rick Turner was the guy with Alembic. He was the Alembic guy.
Yeah, he designed actually with which Michael Anthony played. He designed those basses and stuff.
The Alembic. Okay, the Rick Turner
Model 1.
Yeah, yeah. I've always loved these things.
Yeah, they're crazy money. They're really a cool guitar. The middle pickup spins around and to give you the different tones. They're beautiful.
I think he designed the Melnick Kramers too, or something.
He might have. Yeah. I mean, they're just. He was with Gibson. I think he was president of Gibson for a while, but I mean, those are just killer guitars. The Lindsey Buckingham one has
the pickup rotates. It
the
spins.
pickup in the middle spins, and the Lindsey Buckingham has a piezo in it too.
So you're saying these are based out of Santa Cruz, or Rick Turner is?
Turner lives in Santa Cruz.
He lives here.
Cruz. And let me tell you something. He's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. You can call him up and talk to him. How I met him was I bought the guitar maybe how old is that guitar? Maybe 18 years ago, somewhere around there. 18 years ago, or maybe
2001, 2, or something.
Something like that. So I wanted one, and there was none around because they used to do very little production. He used to make them by himself. So this place called the Guitar Hanger in Connecticut supposedly had one, and I called up, and they go, no, it's just on the website. You got to go on the list. There's a 2 to 3 year wait period for this. I go, that's insane, and they take your money and they hold it, and that's it if you want it, because a lot of people wanted them because Rick was building them all by himself. So I go, all right. So I look it up on the internet, and I see, Turner, the Turner guitars in Santa Cruz, and I call the place, and I go, hi, I'm just calling. I have some questions about the Turner Model 1, and he goes, yeah, what can I do for you? So he says, this is Rick. I go, you mean like Rick Turner? He goes, yeah, like Rick Turner. I go, you're answering your own phone? He goes, man, I'm doing everything. I'm like one of the only people here. So I was like, great. So I go, listen, I really want to get one of these Rick Turner, Model 1s. I said, but it's like they're telling me it's a 3 or 4 year wait, and they're gonna, they want to take my money and this and that. So he said to me on the phone, he goes, yeah, he goes, I can only make like a couple a month, and I'm so back ordered. So I said, okay. So he said, listen, tell me something about yourself. So I said, I live in Boston. He goes, well, I'm from Boston. And he said, I said, really? Where'd you grow up? And he says, Marblehead. I go, oh, no kidding. And he goes, yeah, I was just there for my friend's wedding. And I said to him, I go, your friend's wedding? That was somebody I went to college with. I was at that wedding. Like that, his friend's daughter. So I'm talking to him about it. He goes, well, you went to BU? And I go, yeah. He goes, I went to BU. So I'm like, no kidding. So then we start talking. Boston University. So I said, he said, what do you like about the guitar? I said, I've always liked one. I saw one in, EU Wurlitzer in the 70s, and I've always wanted one. And now, at the time, I can afford one. So he said, okay, let me tell you. He says, I'm finishing one up this week. He said, I can't sell it to you directly, but I'll sell it to you through the distributor the store closest to you, which was the Guitar Hanger. And he said, so you pay them, and I'll ship you the guitar direct. So I said, all right, that sounds fair. So he took down my name and my number and everything. And he said, I'll have the guy call you from the Guitar Hanger. So the guy calls me back about 20 minutes. He goes, I don't know what you did, and I don't know how you jumped the list. He said, all I can tell you is you've got the guitar, and if you can somehow help me out, I'd like to order like 10 of these. I said, well, I'll call Rick and I'll ask him. And that's the whole story. And then ever since then, I've seen him in every NAMM show, and we kind of hang out a little bit. It's a very nice guy.
Oh,
very, very smart.
That's a great story.
You know who was cool? You know, who hit me up last week. I did this thing with Marshall where I had the mini stacks and they post on their Instagram. So I got an email from Seymour Duncan, like the guy. And I'm like, he's like, hey Tyler, hope you're well with this COVID or something like that. And you know, like great to see this stuff, and you know, we need to reconnect soon. And I'm like, wow. So I'm trying to. I got to find, you know, I message MJ and stuff. I got to find like his cell number because I got to call him. But, you know, Seymour is another guy too, who like I often think, oh, he's not going to remember me. And he remembers me because when he was, when, you know, I was 16, I was like, oh, you're Seymour Duncan. And he's like, you know, ever since then, he's always like, oh, yeah, you know, you're that kid. I remember. And, you know, he meets so many people at NAMM. But I've been out to the factory and.
Yeah, he's a cool
great
guy.
people.
You know, a lot of the people in businesses, well, we were just out to the factory. Yeah. A lot of these people in the music business, they're just like gearheads that are, you know, love what they do, and they're all about it. It's just great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we enjoy it. Whoops. We enjoy it, but over the years, you know, he's been lucky enough to meet a lot of people, and they take a liking to him, and you know, it's really worked out well for us. So it's been fabulous.
That's awesome.
So
that's incredible, man.
Yeah, I hope we didn't talk too much.
Oh no. I mean, that's what this is about. You know, this is it's a podcast.
Sure.
So it's perfect.
Yeah, you know, it's cool if people are really into it. It's nice to share stuff. You know, they can see stuff. And I mean, we see other people like Ernie Bach has a guitar collection that is absolutely insane. I mean, he's got crazy stuff. Like there was a custom Martin guitar that was like $1 million. He's got it like all inlaid and crazy, you know, but he doesn't believe in sticking it in a case. He plays every single thing that he has.
Wow.
Which I can.
Oh, and then
I can understand.
Joe Perry's collection is like.
Oh, Joe's insane.
Joe Perry. Like, I have a funny story about that. He they have a studio of Vindaloo Music, Aerosmith. So they were tracking like some re-records for the Guitar Hero game and stuff at the time, like 2008, and they're tracking this stuff. And Joe's like, you know, I want to use 15 Fender champs, and he lines them all up. Every record since the 80s, all these little Fender champs. He mics them all, and he like takes like the best 2 or 3. So he lines up all his champs, and he's like, he says to my friend, he's like, you know, hey, you know, go up to the vault, grab all the Epiphone Casinos from '63 in Sunburst. So the guy goes up, and there's like every color Epiphone Casino. He sees the reissues. Then he sees the, you know, 64, 60. So he goes to 63, you know, there's red ones, everything. So he grabs all the Sunburst ones, comes back with like 9 guitars. And then he said to Joe, okay, here they are. And he's like, Joe looks at all of them. He's like, oh shit, where's the other one? And this guy's like, these are all the ones. He's like, oh yeah, I must have brought it home. He's like, no, I'm looking for that other one that has, you know, that P90's like the best one I've ever. I mean, he has thousands and thousands of guitars.
What was happening was I was trying to buy these obscure guitars on eBay for like shit money, like
Sears guitars.
This is before like a lot of stuff took off. This is like maybe 10 years ago, and it was when the market dropped. So it was probably 2008, 2009. And I'm bidding, and every time I'm like almost getting a guitar, I'm losing it to another guy, and it's like a name that I don't. I'm like, you know, it's like, you know, some crazy name, John, you know, whatever. It's like a funny name, and I lose it, and I'm like, oh shit. So I'm going on, and I'm just looking for obscure stuff that, you know, might have a value someday. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm getting really pissed off, and it was happening for months. And I totally said to this guy that Tyler's talking about, I go, you know, and I think he was telling us about this obscure guitar that Joe had. I go, I was bidding on that thing on eBay and I lost it to some guy. So he looked at me, he goes, yeah, that's Joe. He's got like 10 aliases. You know, he doesn't say Joe Perry 1. You know, he's got names like, you know, Richie Skunkman and whatever. You know, and he's like, Joe just goes on and that's all he does. He sits there all day and night and just buys whatever. He buys whatever obscure guitar or whatever. He just buys whatever he wants. Oh, man, so I'm bidding against him.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Should I tell him the auction story on the bass? With the bass, the Dudicus bass at that. Tyler was playing a benefit concert for 9/11 with do you know who James Montgomery is? James Montgomery Band. He was signed to Warner Brothers in 1969. It was actually the largest contract they ever signed, and he was from Boston too. Well, he's from Detroit, but he went to BU. And anyways, so it's a James Montgomery Band. So Tyler was playing with them. Dave Hull is the bass player, is the backup bass player for Aerosmith.
He's the like guy in the Joe Perry project.
Yeah, he's in the Joe Perry project. Dave Hull is a wonderful guy. So what happens is there's a bass. It's called a Dudicus bass. It's made in Cambridge, Mass, by a guy named Steve. What's his last name?
Dudicus.
No. Steve,
Baxter.
Steve Baxter. He was the bass player in a band called Shine Down years ago. Shy Boy, not Shy Down.
Okay.
Shy Boy. It was a pretty big band.
Like the David Lee Roth song.
Yeah, it was like Shy Boy, excuse me. And they had some fame back then. So anyways, he makes these basses, they're beautiful. So he had this bass and it's on stage and they're auctioning it off. James Montgomery's auctioning it off. And he goes, and we'll even, you know, and Tyler's playing with James. Dave Hull is a friend of ours. And they're like, Dave Hull will even give you a bass lesson. And he said, and it'll be personally signed by Steve and Tyler. This is what they said.
Wow.
All right. So we know Steven. Anybody from Massachusetts has seen him a million times. He's very, very personable and he's all over the place. So what happens is they're auctioning and I'm bidding on it. And I didn't realize that the other guy bidding against me is the guy who's Steve his name is also Steve Tallarico. He's Steven Tyler's cousin. And he's in the front and they're just trying to bid the guitar up for charity. So I know him, but I didn't realize he was the guy bidding against me. So this bass was like a, you know, $2,500 bass. And I was like, all right, I'll go up to 2,500 or whatever it is. And I'm bidding it. And this guy's bidding against me. And I look at my wife and I go, Jesus, this guy really wants this bass. I don't want to keep driving the price up. So I go, I'm not going to bid anymore. So they said, no, I don't want it. Forget it. Let the guy have it. So the guy goes, no, you know, he stands up. He goes, no, he's going to let you have it. I go, no, I don't want it. He can have it. So at the end, he looks at me and we saw each other and he's like, oh man, I didn't know you wanted the bass. And he was bidding me up and I thought I was bidding him up and he ended up having to buy the bass. That was the whole story. So I think he paid like $3,000 for it or something. I don't even remember, but that was kind of funny. We run into these funny things here and there. It's entertaining.
That's awesome. Man, great stories.
Tyler hung out with Al Yankovic one night. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that was at Craig's too.
I saw a picture. I was looking at your Instagram.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of you guys. Yeah.
What a nice guy and so intelligent to talk to. It was unbelievable. Very smart guy. So I mean, I only talked to him for a few minutes. Tyler was talking to him for a while. But anyway, so I mean, it could go on all night.
Cool.
Adventure after adventure.
Man, well, you have to come back.
Okay,
You
absolutely.
have to come back. Yeah, it's been 3 hours. We usually do a few hours, and I actually do have to get a hold of Richie Kotzen.
He's another guy. He's a great guy.
Richie's a nice
guy. We're doing a show tomorrow. He's going to be on here tomorrow, and
no kidding.
So I gotta get a hold of him, do a quick test.
He knows us from Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Richie's
Okay, cool, cool.
a really nice guy. Monster guitar player.
Yeah, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's
Amazing.
in LA, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's still in LA. He's from Pennsylvania. He's an East Coast guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's great.
Yep, absolutely.
He's great.
So I'm going to bail off here. So I want to say thank you, and I don't know if you're going to continue with Tyler or you're done.
Thank you. Oh no, we should. It's 3 hours, so we should probably split. But yeah, you're welcome. You guys are welcome to come back anytime.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, if you could connect me with I forget there's that guy in the chat that you guys want to connect me with, and
hook him up with Adam Watt.
Yeah, if you guys know Andrew Watt,
yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Does somebody actually want some of his shirts?
I think so.
Well, just hit Tyler up when you know.
There's a fair number of people who are interested in the pedals.
Where's yeah.
If you guys wanted one of his shirts or something, just let us know. We'll send it out if you want any of his stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Leave a comment down below. Leave some comments.
Cool.
Cool. No people.
Oh yeah. I'm talking to the chat. We've got chat people.
Awesome.
All right. Well, Tyler, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This has been amazing.
Yeah, next time we do, if you want to, like, maybe we'll have like a theme or something, and I get so many stories that maybe we'll just do a theme, like, this time was kind of just like everything, but if you want to do a theme, we'll stick on one topic or something.
Oh, sure. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Tyler's information is down in the description there, his website. Let me say goodbye to our channel members. I've got members on the channel here. Executive producers were Charles Green, Robbie Johnston, Music Therapy Laz, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Connor Johnson 5150, Michael Smith, and some Dave Dude. And the rest of our channel members, thank you so much for all your support. Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Richard Poole, Charlie S., Mike Neese, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, Lenny Lou, Crazy Cook 678, Bozique, Julia Baldassari, Robbie Johnston, False Flag, David Ennis, Michael Smith. Is that the same one? That's a different one. Halface, Some Dave Dude, James Gum, Mr. BHP Jr., Frag 5150, William Bill Spruce, Frank Corcoran, Thomas Santiago, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz. I gotta take a breath. Ghost BC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, Jim Nicholas, Connor Johnson 5150, and Brian Spalding. Thank you so much, Brian. I'll have your name up on the card next episode, which will be tomorrow. Special show, special time. Jason Becker, Triumphant Friends, episode 1, featuring Richie Kotzen, who I got to get a hold of. May 16th, which is tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. Jason will be here. Richie Kotzen will be here. And friends, a lot of friends. So make sure you guys tune in for that. It'll be amazing. And Tyler, again, thank you.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Anytime,
man. Anytime. So I want to play some outro music here, and then we can say goodbye. And then I gotta get a hold of Richie real quick. So thank you so much, everybody. Make sure to subscribe down below, leave a thumbs up. Check out Tyler Morris, check out his album, his website. It's down below. If you want a pedal, get a hold of him. If you want a t-shirt, get a hold of him. Website down below. Comments.
And I think YouTube channel's somewhere in there in the comments or some.
Yeah. YouTube channel. And tomorrow, Jason Becker, the sexiest man alive. See you guys tomorrow. Johnny Beane TV.
Awesome.